All right, let's see. Are we live yet? Let's go live. All right, we're back in business. Hey everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending where you're at. It's my afternoon right here. It's Wilco to Cry with all of you, and I'm excited for today. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. I see Jan, I see Mark, I see Tony, I see Joanna, I see Carmen, I see Kareem, I see Jer, I see a lot of different and familiar faces as well, which is good. I see Rick. Welcome everyone to today's live. Just kidding with you. The stream is not lagging. I'm still here. That was just an inside joke. Anyway, I'm glad you're all here. And as you all know, we got a lot of good stuff geared up, and I'm really excited for everyone who's here. Just want to make sure that everyone who's here has pen and paper ready, as those of you who've been here yesterday and the day before, you know there's a lot of stuff and there's like tiny little things in between that you want to make a note of. And yeah, let's just get started now. Just for those who some may not have been here over the last 2 days, if not, why not? And basically what we're doing here in this 3-day event is I'm creating a new course, and the reason for that is because it's it's part of our business, and I figured to do something crazy. Instead of just creating the course here in my studio on my own, editing the course, and then bringing it to market, letting people buy it so that we can help them. Instead of just doing that, I figured, you know what, I'm streaming it live with all of you. So those who are showing up live, they can get to see everything instead of having to buy it later on. And that was sort of the idea of this whole setup, and that's why we're doing these 3 days. So in 3 days, I'm recording the whole course. Most of the course, I'll still have to record some things on my screen, as I mentioned yesterday. We'll get into that later. But that is the gist of it. Now, I would say I don't want to keep on waiting. I don't want people to, let's just dive in. First thing I want to do is I want to catch up real quick with basically like a summary for those who weren't here, or for those who were here, a little refresher of what we've done so far. So the next steps are all going to make more sense. And one thing I want to make clear that I mentioned before as well is that everything right here is based on actual data. Like, this is what we do in our business. This is not part of like some theory or anything like that. We focus on strategies as well as tactics. Tactics are cool, like they're cool little tricks that help you, but it's a strategy that really matters, right? To make sure like, what can you do in your business to not just like move forward this week or maybe get some more sales this week or next month, but like make sure you actually keep on growing as a business, that even like 2 years from now, you're thinking back to this and like thank you for that. Like, because I put that in place 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's still helping my business. Because a lot of the things I've been showing and I am showing on this call, like some of the things I've set up a couple years ago, and it's still working every single day. Like, I don't have to touch it. I don't have to send more emails because of it, but because it's set up a couple years ago, I make more sales today. And that is the cool part, right? And it's just an ongoing machine, and that is what we're doing. So I didn't really ask, actually. Let me check. Can everyone hear me loud and clear? Just making sure. Cool, there's even more people joining, which is awesome. Dutch people as well, always good. Dutch people are crazy. I can tell that from experience. And one quick side note while I grab the television so we can dive into the good stuff and do a quick summary is like, I never ever let my wife in on anything I do for my business, right? Like, if I talked to her about it. Oop, why is that not working? Apologies. Like that. I think that would be good, right? Yeah. So I talked to her about it, like what I do in our business and in Viral and at Connect.io. And obviously we do video as well. Like this is, for example, this is a live video. Usually I'll do pre-recorded videos, but I never ever let my wife watch it because I know, it freaks me out, basically. And or like other stuff in the business. I talk to her about it, but I don't really show her anything. Like, but yesterday my team made a package of like all kinds of messages that we got from all of you guys and girls to thank me for this whole live event, and that, like, to me was really awesome. Like, I was like, and that's one of those moments where I like asked my wife, like, come join, like see, like what I'm doing there in the studio on my own in front of the camera, like people are sending this. Like, how awesome is that? Like, I'm helping them from my, like, it's amazing. So thanks for everyone who sent those messages. I really do appreciate it. So to do a quick summary on what we've been going through so far, actually, I'm not sure if you can, yeah, I'll do it like that, like, so you can see the screen. So basically, so far what we've done on the first day, I've been making the introduction on, like, let me just zoom in a little bit so you can actually see it slightly better. And can I just move my screen to the left? The beauty of technology, right? Can just move things around while we're all being live. How cool is that? So on the first day, on Tuesday, what we've been doing is I've been creating the videos. Was the foundation of the course, right? It was all about the fact that, like, a lot of people, they're just using broadcast emails, which means that you have an email list, or you're going to build an email list. And then once people are on the list, you send out a message to everyone at a certain time that you decide. You're like, I'm going to send an email for this promotion. Click send. And everyone's going to get it at the same time and same kind of message. So instead of doing that, I've been talking about how to make sure that you get the right message, the right email, to the right person at the right time through the 3R model. And we're doing that partially with automation. And so I've been going through, like, what is a good email, what makes, like, what kind of formulas do you have for a headline, what kind of formulas do you have for the copy, because there's, like, you can go all creative, or you can just follow a proven formula right there. So that is part of the good email video that we did. Talked about things like segmentation, personalization, and triggered automation as well. And then we went, then I started yesterday with some of my campaigns that we're using as, like, blocks in this automation, right? So once someone signs up to your email list, they'll get an indoctrination sequence. And in that, I showed various techniques, such as the personalization, some real cool personalization as well, the whitelist hack, the language hack, the implementation hack. Now, actually, I'm curious. I'm curious because while I'm doing this summary for those who weren't there, for those who were there, could you please drop me what was your #1 nugget you got? And then I'll read some of them from the comments as well. So what's the #1 nugget you got so far from either yesterday or the day before, or both, right? That would be amazing if you can drop that, so I can share those nuggets with some of the other people as well. So we've been doing that. Then I talked about the value sequence. So once people opt into your list and they get that first email where you try to build a relationship based on trust, you're gonna go all in on that trust relationship, right? So you're gonna make sure they get epic value, but while doing that, you're gonna make sure you're segmenting your list to make sure that the promotion you're gonna send afterwards is gonna work way better. That's basically the game plan in a nutshell. So then we go into the went into the special offer sequence, which means, like, how do you structure a good promotion, right? It's not like, hey, we got something you can buy, but we want to be smart about it, right? We're letting people know about the offer, like, why do they need it, and, like, what is the offer? Is there a special price, or is there, like, extra bonus? And then what's next? Like, social proof, like some testimonials, other people telling how awesome your product or your service is. Doesn't matter whether it's B2B or coaching or e-commerce, it really does not matter, right? Social proof works. So that's day 2. And day 3, it's about overcoming the objections. And I shared a good email that I always use in those kind of emails, email promotions, where I can overcome all the objections in one email without it being weird and without having to be clever about email copy and anything like that. It's super simple. And then after day 4 is all about scarcity, making sure, like, hey, the special offer is going to be removed. And that is sort of what we've done so far. Today, I'm going to dive into 2 more sequences, the webinar follow-up sequence. I'm going to share you my sequence and some things I'm doing with that, as well as the abandoned cart sequence. Now, as part of each of those, I'm also going to create a video about the implementation, like actual on my screen. That's not going to be live though, because I cannot record my screen, because I could in theory, but my laptop is like, if I try to stream live and record my screen, everything crashes, and so I cannot do those parts or those videos. I'm going to do on my backend, like when I'm not streaming live, and that's where I'll show you not just the strategy, but like, hey, here's how you click, here's how you exactly set that up step by step. So I'm going to record those later. So today I'm going to dive into 2 extra sequences, and then we're going to talk about building your sales machine. So how to, if you have these kind of all these kind of elements, what are the like how do we put it all together? And I'm not just gonna be like, hey, do all of this, but I'm just like, hey, step 1, just do that. Step 2, do that. I'm gonna make it easier to make sure it's attainable for everyone. Even if you don't have a list yet, like we can all start implementing this into your business. So let me just dive into the chat real quick to see what all your takeaways were, because I would love to see it. The unsubscribe hack. So that, yeah, I think that's really good. It's always good so you don't have to annoy your audience when you're doing an email promotion. Thanks, Natasha. Byte says, asking users to send a reply to an email improving inboxing. Yes, if you ask for people to reply to your email, you'll get way better inbox rate, which is good. Overcoming your inhibitions and just dive in and get better as you go along, just learning. Martin says that. Yeah, I keep saying that also to my team, like, please, 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 please take this close to your heart. Imperfect action is always better than perfect inaction. Do you think I've done this before, this whole live setup? No, no way. Like I have not, right? And if you would know how many things went wrong, or like I forgot, or like stressful during this week, trust me, it's been a stressful week. Even though it may seem slick and like everything seems to work fine, there's always stuff. But I told my team, like, we're doing this in this week. I want to record that course and I want to stream it live, and I'm just going to do it. And things are going to go wrong. Deal with it. And actually what's funny, I was actually still scared because like I'm making mistakes live. Like normally I can record a video like multiple times and just keep on recording it and we'll edit it all out. And now all of you are watching live and I have to do it perfect. And like, that's what I thought. And then I started making mistakes, and I saw various people in this very chat saying like, don't worry about it. You can make mistakes. It only shows you're human. So please take that into account with this whole system, but whatever you do in your business. Don't try to be perfect. Just imperfect action always is better than perfect inaction. In other words, like if you're trying to get it perfect, you're not going to get anything done. Just pick a date and go for it. That's just my general thing that I wanted to share with all of you. Tony's main takeaway is tagging to segment your list. So like while you're sending out emails to your email list, make sure you add a little interest tags like, hey, this person is interested in Facebook ads, or this person is interested, like if you're in the travel market, this person is interested in luxury hotels, right? From that point on, you know that person is interested in luxury hotels, but someone else may be more into camping, for example. So if you have a promotion for like a camping trip, you know who to send it to. That's also what we discussed yesterday. Hey, Sherilyn, welcome that you're here. Bright is asking, can you recap the unsub hack a little bit? Yeah, I can do that real quick. I don't want to take too much time because before we dive into the new content, but I can definitely do a quick tour of that. Let me just get that. Where was it? The unsubscribe hack. So basically what we're doing is I'm saying, whenever I do a promotion, right, a broadcast promotion, we're saying like, hey, we got this thing for offer, like some kind of a promotion for a product or service, right? What if someone doesn't want to know about that product or service? They can either two things can happen. They can either unsubscribe, which you don't want to happen, or they don't unsubscribe, but they keep on getting that email, even though they're annoyed by it. It hurts the relationship, right? So what we do is we add a little snippet at the end, like PPS or PS, not even remotely interested in this offer, like simply click here and I won't email you again about it. And that basically what we're doing is whenever someone clicks to that link, like we send them to a page saying like, hey, you're removed from that email segment where we won't email you about this product anymore, but we'll still be friends. And when they click at the same time, we add a little tag to that person. We call an opt-out tag for that particular promotion. So in the next email, we're going to make sure that those people who have that tag are not going to get the email anymore. So the end result, and again, I dove more into it in detail, and I'll show you, like in the actual course, there will be an implementation part where I show you step by step on the screen how to do it. But basically what it means is like you're sending out promotions, if someone doesn't like it, they click on that link and they'll stop getting that promotion, but they'll still be subscribed to your email list. That is the gist of it. Let me just, boom, like that. I'm already thirsty and I just have to get started. Thanks, Jer, I appreciate that. Can I use Facebook ads without using my brand? That's a question not very much related to this, but as a Facebook advertiser, you will always be using like a Facebook page, which could be your brand, but also, like in my experience, also works pretty well if you use your personal name. So I, for example, have actually three pages: one for the viral brand, one for the Connect.io brand, and then one for the Wilco de Cry brand, or however you want to call it. So it doesn't, like, you can also use your own personal name, for example. All right, one more question that I'm going to answer right now, and then I'll dive into some questions later. Tony is now asking, what is the setup you're using to connect your Mac with the camera and the microphone? Let me show you that. Boom, boom. So I got a webcam right here. And using the webcam, hold on, oops, I can show you something a bit more. So right over there, I got like a main camera. Which I used to have an SLR camera. Right now, I'm not sure what it is. It's the Panasonic GH5, I believe that's the one. The main reason why I picked that one is because you can record for ongoing, and my previous camera was only able to record for 20 minutes or so. If you're in Europe, it has to do with tax reasons. It's crazy. Anyway, pretty much any camera that can continuously record will work. And most cameras will have an HDMI output. And what I've done, and I can just show you that, there's actually a tool which is called, I'm not sure if you can see it right now, Cam Link, as you can see right here. And using the Cam Link, you can just plug in the HDMI and you plug that into the Cam Link. Let me just switch back to the main camera. And you can then automatically able to detect it as a webcam, basically, as a webcam. So you can then use your main camera. And my microphone is also just plugged into that same camera. It's like with a long extension cable, as you can see right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but like I just plugged an extension. And that is how we're streaming using the tool. It's called OBS. It's a free tool, OBS. And that is how we're doing this live setup. Now, I think it's time to dive into some content. Sorry for being too fast with the setup. I totally understand that, all right? That was really not my intention. So I can go a little bit slower. Sorry for that. So here's how you can see it in a bit more like what I'm seeing. So here's the laptop. I got my phone right here, so I can actually, that's connected with my camera as well, using Wi-Fi, so I can actually see. So here's OBS, the camera. I got my iPad there for some notes, I got some drinks and a banana. And here's all the cables coming in. And this thing right here is just because Mac decided to not have USB. So I need to have USB in there. And then here we got the television right here. And then, like I said, there are two lights. Let me just move back. Two lights there, and then the camera over there. And that is the setup. And now I'm gonna make you feel drunk again. Just kidding. Cool, let's get started. Some may be interested in that, but maybe not everyone. So the next video I'm gonna record today is the webinar follow-up sequence. And just like yesterday, once I'm recording, I'll just, I'll be doing, I won't be talking to all of you. If I do talk to you in between, I'll just use this cue, and we're gonna cut that out of the course, but that's just you and me time if that happens, or if I make a mistake or something like that. Cool, let me just get everything ready. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Just minimizing that. Opening up the webinar follow-up sequence. The first video, this is going to be 4 videos. And again, I'm going to show you my webinar follow-ups. Who here has ever done a webinar? I'd love to know, who has done a webinar and who hasn't done a webinar yet. If you haven't yet, it's totally fine. That's not the main, there's going to be some lessons in there that's going to be relevant even if you don't do webinars. But I picked a webinar sequence as an example. So if you have done any webinars, I would love to know. The tool for the USB is just to get USB. Like in the MacBooks, there's no USB port, so I needed to get a USB. There's only like Mac, you need to, that's a different story. Cool. There's a bit of a delay, so I'm not sure yet whether people are doing webinars, but I'm gonna get, yeah, Clive has done them, that's good. I'm just gonna get started with this video. I'll also make sure you can actually see it like that. Let me just move it so you can actually see the screen properly. The parts that you need to see. Cool, and I can just get started. Hey and welcome to the webinar follow-up sequence. In this video, I want to talk you through our, If you're selling a product between, let's say, $300 and $2,000, one of the main common ways of selling a product like that is with a webinar. In other words, getting people onto a live stream, a live presentation that you're doing online where you share value about the topic that you know everything about the topic that you're in business in. And then during that presentation, at some point, you can actually make them an offer once you've established a relationship, because you're obviously doing that one-on-one. Now, the question is, like, let's say someone is on your webinar, right? Or people they may not even have joined your webinar, but sorry for that, I'm just gonna do it all the way over. I know I shouldn't do it perfect, but sometimes I try to. My apologies. Let's just get started and I'll keep on going anyway. Hey, and welcome to this video in which I'm going to talk about the webinar follow-up sequence. Because if you're selling a product between, let's say, $300 and $2,000, one of the common ways of getting that into the hands of your customer is using a webinar. And what that means is that you're doing a live presentation where you talk and teach about the product or service that the business you're in, and you share value with your customer. It's not just about your product, but you're actually sharing value and you're helping them out. And then after a while, let's say after an hour or so, you could say like, hey, I actually have an offer, and if this is something for you, then you can join. That's pretty much the gist of it. But what happens after a webinar like that? Let's say you do a webinar like that now or in the future. But what do you do after? Because not everyone is going to buy your product after the webinar. So what a common practice is to send out a recorded version of that webinar. So you would say like, hey, here's the recording of my webinar. You can watch it after the webinar is done, like the day after, for example. But there's one problem right here, and that is that everyone on the webinar or in that whole webinar campaign is in a completely different mindset. Right? And we talked about before about the 3R model, making sure that the right message goes to the right person at the right time. But let's say you're sending out a message to like, hey, awesome, thank you for the webinar. It was great, wasn't it? What's going to happen to the person who forgot about your webinar, they haven't really attended, and they're going to get an email saying, hey, thanks for being on the webinar. Like, I was not on your webinar, right? Or the other way around, if you're sending out an email like, hey, sorry you couldn't make it, but here's a recording. But you're sending that to someone who actually was on your webinar, and they're offended because they spent 2 hours with you and they're getting a super not personalized email because it's just not for them. So how do you fix that? Well, you need to consider that when you're sending out follow-up emails, we should consider what their mind is at, like what is their current stage. And after a webinar, and that's why I picked this as a classic example, there's basically 4 groups of people in your whole list. There are going to be people who attended your webinar and they also bought your offer. In other words, those are your new customers, which is awesome. There are also going to be people who attended your webinar completely, which means they didn't just see the first part, but they even saw you talking about your product and even showing an offer to them, saying like, hey, we have a special offer for you, you can get access to it. They've seen all of that, they know all of that, but still, they didn't actually buy your product for whatever reason. There's also going to be people who attended your webinar, but they left the webinar before you even talked about your product. So they may have seen you actually sharing value, but they have no clue what the product or service is that you're going to sell. So if you would all of a sudden say like, hey, what did you think about my special offer? Or hey, what did you think about my product? What do you think about a viral? They may think, hey, but I have no clue what you're talking about, right? So, and finally, we have also obviously people who didn't even show up to the webinar. And that's why what we're doing in our email follow-up is we're going to make sure that we send targeted emails to those people. And I'll show you later how to do that exactly. But first, I want to walk you through my webinar follow-up sequence so you can actually use that as a source of inspiration. All right, now I'm just going to open up the emails just to make sure. Yeah, sorry, let me just minimize it and then open it. So let's say you did your webinar and the next day you're going to send out an email. So after a webinar, so a day after I did a webinar, this is what I would send to someone who did not even show up to my webinar. Something like, hoo-hoo, turned out to be an amazing webinar yesterday. So I want to make sure that it's exciting, right? There is something happened there. It went exactly as I'd hoped, except for one thing. You weren't there, right? And now it's specifically to them, right? I specifically write to them because they weren't actually there. And it's something that, that actually matches what their current mind is at. No worries, I get it, we're all busy, which is why I recorded it for you. And the training covered a ton of actionable ideas and tips, including, and then I'll share them, what is inside the webinar. Now, one thing to consider here is that if someone hasn't even joined my webinar, I'm not gonna bother to talk about my product right away in that first email. That's not the point. All I'm doing is making sure like, hey, this is what's in the presentation. This is what you will get out of the presentation to make sure that I pique their interest. Like, hey, that's something I want to learn, right? And then they have a reason to start watching the recording. Now, what I do in case someone actually, hold on. Now, in case someone joined your webinar, but they didn't watch the whole thing, they left before you even showed your offer, this is what I would send them. Who turned out to be an amazing webinar yesterday. You see how I'm repurposing the same parts? I'm not rewriting the whole email, and I wouldn't recommend you to do the same thing as well. We're trying to be smart with our time here, so we're just changing some things to make sure they're targeted to your audience. Thank you for being there. I really appreciate that. I'm confirming that they were there, and I'm thanking them for them. To spend some time with you or with me in this case, and it's good to confirm that and be grateful for it. I've added the gift at the bottom of this email. Anyway, if my systems are not mistaken, it seems you left early, right? No worries, I get it. I'm sure you're probably crazy busy, life, business, sports, etc. And I know it can be hard to jump in a specific time. So in order to make sure you don't miss out on the strategies, I've just uploaded a replay for you. Here's the replay. And again, I only talk about the content, the value, the things they're getting out of it if they would watch the replay. Right? That's very important here, and I confirm that they actually were not there. Now, in case someone did join the whole webinar, including the end, then this is what I would send them. Again, turned out to be an amazing webinar yesterday. Apparently it was awesome. Thanks for being there, really appreciate it. And I hope you'll like the free WordPress plugin I gave you at the webinar. So that particular webinar that I did, I promised something if they would stick on all the way till the end. So those that were actually there until the end, I made sure they had that link in order to get access to it, because I promised to them that, and if they missed that link during the webinar, I showed that on my screen, they still got it. So this is just another way of making sure they're happy they were there, and they're actually being rewarded for being there live. Anyway, I wanted to ask you a question. Did I do anything wrong? I'm asking because I showed you a special offer on a wow yesterday on the webinar, but for some reason you passed, and that's perfectly fine. But it did strike me as a little odd. And then, like, what I'm doing here, and obviously you don't have to use this exact same copy, but what I'm doing here, I'm not talking about, hey, click here to watch the replay because there's all this content, because they've seen all that content and they've consumed it all, and they were there, and because of that content, they were interested in staying around and watching me talk about the viral and the actual offer. And for some reason, even though I did all my best, it wasn't for them, which is fine. That is totally fine. But oftentimes there's a reason why it wasn't for them. And sometimes it's easy to assume like, oh, but it was just not for them, or it's not the right time. But sometimes there's just a simple thing that's holding them back. They're like, oh yeah, like it did seem interesting, but I was just wondering if it does this, this, and this. Well, and then, so what I'm trying to do is trying to get them to reply, try to get them to answer, or let me know if there's anything I could do to help them make an informed decision. So the point I'm trying to make here is that we're trying to talk to where they are in their mind. So did they join but only for a little bit, or did they join the full thing? Now now below this video you'll find a link with the PDF, so you'll find my whole sequence so you find the full webinar replay sequence that I'm using, so you can use that as a source of inspiration. And the next video I'll keep on talking. All right, that was that. That was the replay sequence. Now, just so you know, for those who weren't here before, when I mentioned something like, hey, the PDF with all the sequences and things like that, like there's all kinds of resources, that's not available right now. That's going to be inside the actual course, right, that we're creating. You just want to be clear for that in case you're like clicking all over to see where the PDF is. But this is basically what we're doing for the replays. And this can be used for many different things, which is something we're going to go into in the next video. So let me just get that ready as well. And just so we all know, for those who weren't here, we have some awesome prizes. We're going to pick another winner in a little bit for a t-shirt. I'm going to pick another winner for Viral Pro, and I'm going to pick a winner for something really cool. Talk to you more about that later. So we got some cool prizes during today's live show as well, to keep it all, fun and engaging and all that. Let me just, where's my mouse? It's interesting, always when there's two screens, I just lost my mouse. That's basically it. But I found it. Let me just clean this up. Let's do this one first. Or not. I'm just thinking which video I'm going to do first. Cool. I'll just keep on going. We'll do one more video and then we'll do a bit of catch up with all of you here live. Cool? Is that good? Let's do it. Just when I'm dancing like that, it's just I'm trying to get some energy flowing and be energetic, a bit more energetic than I usually am, because doing these live casts, even like it takes energy, let's put it like that. So after a couple days, I'm happy to do them, but I'm also gonna be happy after that's done. I'm not gonna lie about that, but that's so good. I'm happy to do that for all of you, and I'm hoping you're all getting value out of it. So let me just switch to that screen so you can actually all see it. Let me just remove that part on the right. So what we're doing in the webinar follow-up sequence is something that you can apply to various of your email automations or even your email broadcasts, and that is activity-based segmentation. In other words, whether someone took a certain action or did not take a certain action, to make sure that the next emails they're going to get are just more targeted towards them. And what I want you to take away from this, from the last video as well as this video, isn't to just think about, hey, how can I do an email follow-up, sorry, a webinar follow-up sequence, but are there things in your email automations later on or in your broadcast that you can basically have two different sub-segments of your email list based on certain activities they've taken. So for example, whether they watched the webinar, like did they actually show up? Did they not show up? Like if they did show up, how long did they stay, right? Or for example, if you have an offer, let's say you have a sales page, right? And on that sales page, there's a link to your checkout page, right? So you can actually see, there's a link to your checkout page where people need to buy your product. Now, let's say you send out an email to your sales page, right? Now, there's two groups of people who click on that link, right? That's one. Actually, there's three groups of people. My apologies. People who don't even click on that link, who just open your email, they sort of know it, but they haven't seen anything on your sales page. Then there's a group of people who clicked on your sales page, but that was about it. and there's a group of people that clicked on your sales page and then moved over to your checkout page as well. And it definitely, and obviously it depends on which autoresponder you're using. For example, with ActiveCampaign, that is completely possible. I'll show you that in the implementation video later on. So you can actually see exactly like who actually clicked on to your checkout page, right? You can actually measure that, so you can talk to them in a different kind of way. And the reason we do that, the way we do that is, first of all, we need to sort of set these activity tags. And once again, in the next video, I'll show you exactly how to do it. The easiest one is, for example, with a webinar system like this. So this is a screen from EverWebinar. And basically what they allow me to do is to send out certain specific tags to every person who joins my webinar or who does not join for my webinar based on the activity they take. So for example, when they sign up, they get a certain tag, right? Webinar attend to viral traffic. When they attend, they get a certain tag. When they miss the webinar, they get a certain tag. When they leave before a certain time period, you can actually set, like if they leave before 60 minutes, for example, and when they stay until at least, like for example, if they stay more than 60 minutes, they get a certain tag. And this way I know exactly that someone who stayed all the way till the end, he or she will get the tag webinar engaged viral traffic. And then the next part is obviously using that in your follow-up emails. And again, in the next video, I'll show you this in more detail. But basically what we're doing is we're saying, this is an automation from ActiveCampaign, what you're currently looking at. And what we're doing is we're saying like, hey, has the contact webinar attend to viral traffic? If yes, we know he or she actually joined the webinar, right? If no, hey, that person did not actually join the webinar, so we know we can talk to them like, hey, you missed the webinar. If they did actually join the webinar, then there's still two situations, right? They could either have stayed for a short while or for the whole webinar. So we're checking like, hey, does the current contact match the following conditions? Does the contact have the tag webinar engaged viral traffic? Because if they stay until a long enough time, we send the tag webinar engaged viral traffic. If yes, we know, they stayed for long enough, so they're going to get these emails. If not, then we're going to go and they're going to get these emails. And that's how we do it. Now, this is something that I just want you to take into account for your biggest promotions. This is not something that I would recommend you for every small promotion, or if you're sending out an email to, let's say, 500 people, it's just not worth your time. But once you're at a certain point where you have one promotion that you're like, this is really good, or if you have something that your audience, they really do an effort for you, right? For example, a webinar is a classic example, right? If people really do an effort for you, they really stay with you for like 2 hours on a webinar, you do not want to ruin the relationship by saying, hey, why weren't you there? Like you want them, give them the respect, even if it takes a little bit of time to talk in their language, because things like that, small things like that, are going to make a huge difference in the long term. And at the end of the day, it's all about the relationship between you and your brand and your customer or your potential customer. And that's why this whole setup for the activity-based segmentation could be a very important thing down the line. And again, in the next video, I'll show you on my screen how to set all of this up in your account. That's it. All right, could have been better. Now, again, the next video is all, actually I made a mistake. I told them the next video, but actually we're doing another video first. We can flip that around. So Geoffrey, my editor, maybe we can change that a little bit. Cool. So the video that I was referring to, where I'm going to show it on my screen, as I mentioned, I cannot do that right now. So that's going to be part in the actual course where I show exactly how to do everything step by step. So that's just so you all know. Cool. So Hudson is asking, what's the indicator that the attendee has left? So basically, for the webinars, like in this case where I was talking about the webinars, I'm using a tool called Webinar Jam. And they basically, they keep track if someone actually joins the webinar or not joins. And after the webinar has ended, they basically send for every contact, every person who subscribed to the webinar, they start sending that information to ActiveCampaign, to my autoresponder. So they say like, hey, Jane here, she attended and she stayed long enough. Like she gets these 2 tags. But Joe here, he signed up, but he didn't actually join. So he's getting the tag missed the webinar. So right after the webinar, all that information will flow from Webinar Jam automatically into my ActiveCampaign account, and from that point onwards we can use that information basically. Let's see what other questions there are. Mr. Box says, like, I did not get an unlocked email. What should I do? I have more than 3 people. So just for those who don't know, so right below this video, you'll find your own unique viral link, the invite link, right? We're using a viral, which is our software, to build our email list bigger. And this is an example of how we're using it. So how viral works, I'll talk more about that later, is that you can incentivize your audience. In this case, I'm incentivizing all of you to share this with all of your friends, right? And automatically everyone has their own unique invite link. And because of that, we can keep track how many of your friends actually signed up. And as soon as 3 of your friends signed up, you're gonna get our in-house tool that we have created with all kinds of email sequences, like the ones we're talking about right now, that you can just copy paste. You can answer some questions and they'll be downloadable, so you can copy paste them in your emails. I've showed them yesterday and the day before. If someone wants to see that tool, feel free and I'll let me know, and I'll play a little video for that. So as soon as 3 of your friends have signed up as well, enter the email address for this current live event, you're gonna get access to that, right? And right now the question is that from Mr. Bock, hey, I've unlocked it, but I didn't get the email. Aha! And those emails, AppViral sends a tag out to ActiveCampaign, just like we're talking about right now. But unfortunately, not AppViral, don't get me wrong, ActiveCampaign has some issues right now. There are some of the emails are delayed, so you should still get that email. However, if you haven't got it, if you didn't receive it for whatever reason, you send us an email at support@appviral.com. Let us know that you didn't get the free gift, even though you unlocked 3 of your friends, and then my team will check that out if you actually invite 3 of your friends, and you will send your access to that tool. So in case you didn't get it, support@appviral.com. Again, support@appviral.com. We'll be happy to help you out. I hope that answers your question. Chess is saying, like, when I record the video for your course in small screen, you seem a bit unsharp. Yeah, we're actually recording it in high definition as well, but we're not streaming it in like 4K, because that, like, my internet connection would not be able to upload that in a fast speed. It will be super slow. So that's why the resolution for the stream is slightly lower than the actual course. There will be higher resolution. Cool. Cool. Let me just keep on going for the next one, which is actually pretty cool. Let me actually ask you a question. I'm curious. Who here has ever received a postcard from me? And some people are going to be like, why did anyone send a postcard? Like, why would I send a postcard to anyone? Like, but I'm curious. Did someone actually receive a postcard from me in the mail, in their physical mailbox at some point or not? I'm curious. And there is a connection why I'm asking that question, because it is, in a way, it is related to what we're going into in the next video, which is a really cool tactic actually. Not a lot of people use it, but if you do, you can use it in any of your emails. Trust me, you will stand out to your customers. They will remember you better, and you will get, it's just an awesome thing to do. So let me just check the comments. If someone got a postcard, yeah, Clive got it, James got it, Mr. Bach didn't get it. There's quite a few, some got it, some didn't. Cool. Well, the postcard is cool. Not even a Christmas card. Sorry, no, not yet. So basically what we're doing, and that's more like a behind the scenes. I don't have one here, unfortunately, but we're not doing this all the time, but like every now and then for new customers who join AppViral for our yearly plan, just as a way of like being, personal. We send them a little postcard just as a way of saying thank you. So people who just said yes, that's because you got the AppViral yearly package. And if you said no, then you probably didn't, or you got it at a time where we weren't doing that, because we haven't always done it, obviously. But the reason why is because that is very related to the next training. Where's my mouse? And also I just saw a question about the PDFs. when those are going to be available. So the PDFs and everything that I mentioned, like the extra videos I still need to record and all that, they're going to be in the course. But unfortunately, like I'm streaming all of this live, but I'm obviously creating the course to sell, right? We're going to sell this later on, and I want to be fair to everyone. So like the extra courses, the extra videos that I'm still need to create, and all the resources that we're creating, that's just going to be in the course. Like, because if I'm going to give it all the way for free to you guys and girls, then like it wouldn't be fair to someone who's going to spend, let's say, $1,000 later on to buy that course, while he or she realizes like, hey, but you gave everything away for free. So yes, I'm streaming all of this live for free for all of you, but all the extra stuff that we're adding into this course, I want to keep that exclusive to whoever signs up for the paid course, because I want to be fair to everyone. So I hope that answers it. So these extra PDFs and all the extra videos for like step-by-step instructions, that's not going to be like here live, unfortunately. That's just going to be for the course. Again, just trying to be fair for everyone, trying to share epic value while also be fair to everyone who becomes a paying customer. So I hope you understand and understand that. Cool. So we're going to talk about the image hack. And for those who have the postcard, you will probably recognize this picture right here. Let me just show, because the postcard that we're sending out, is basically like this. And this is not what I'm going to do this is not what I'm going to show in this training. This is just between you and me. But this picture right here, basically everyone who, like, if you get a picture like that, it would have your own name in it, like welcome to a viral Wilco, welcome to a viral whatever. Now this next video is not going to be how to send out a postcard, but I'm doing something similar in our email, some of our emails, and it's actually really easy, and it's pretty cool. So let me just get started. As I've been talking, by the way, I'm starting with the video. As I've been saying multiple times throughout this whole course, personalization is key. It's so important that people will recognize themselves, but also to keep it personal. And in this video, I want to talk about something that I've been doing in various of my emails, including some of the webinar follow-up emails. And that's why I'm adding this video in this part of the course, but you can obviously use this in any of your emails. It's what I call the image hack. And what that means is that inside an email, I would add an image which has my face on it, just to keep it personal. You could have any kind of image that you want, but more importantly, it will actually show the name of whoever is receiving it. So for example, it would say after a webinar, why didn't you stay, Jessica? Let me just show you an example email of where I use this. As you can see, the email says, hey, I noticed that you had to jump out of the webinar before all the good stuff. You know how that makes me feel? Turn on images to see. And that part, turn on images to see, I just typed that in because some email browsers, they need to click on a button to enable the images, otherwise they wouldn't see it. And then there's this image which automatically says like, hey, why didn't you stay, for example, Jessica, or why didn't you stay James, or why didn't you stay Wilco or Peter? And the reason in this email why it actually says yesterday is because usually when you create something like that, and I'll show you that in the next video as well, step by step, is that you can actually add in their first name. So you can literally say, hey, why didn't you stay first name? And it will automatically be added into that image. But sometimes someone has subscribed without a name. So they didn't enter a name. So you don't want it to show up as like, why didn't you stay blank, right? Comma blank. So instead, the tool that I'm going to talk about in just a little bit, they have an option called the fallback. And this means that, hey, if we have a first name, we will add their name on the image automatically on the fly. Everyone will get their own unique image. But in the situation that someone didn't enter their name, so there's no information at all, you can enter what word you want me to show. So what I did is like I entered, why didn't you stay yesterday? Just to make it a bit more relevant, like, hey, the webinar was yesterday, so automatically it's going to say, hey, why didn't you stay yesterday? Obviously it's not perfect, but for most people, it will be like, Jessica, why didn't you stay, Jessica? And in a nutshell, there's 3 steps you need to take. First of all, you need to sign up for a tool called Nifty Images at niftyimages.com. And they do have a free plan. If you go over a certain limit, you'll have to pay as well. And that's a free, that's a real handy tool where that will help you create these kind of personalized images. Then obviously you need to take a picture or use a picture. Now, in my case, I went for a blank sign, so I have some space on that picture to actually add a text, because obviously you need to add some text on top of that image, which is obviously important. So like my go-to picture would be hold a blank sign, hold something like even like a piece of paper, hold it, and then take a picture of yourself or ask someone to take a picture from you, and then add the picture in your email using Nifty Images. Now again, in the next video I'm going to actually show you how to set that up, but rest assured, like if you do this in some of your emails, people are just going to be like, hey, wow, that was pretty cool, because most people don't really realize that you can do that. And what's even cool, you can always think about like, what are other clever ways that how can I use it? So perhaps you have an image, or like you're writing something and you have a photo where you add in their email address, for example. That's just some creative ideas. But I would just go for like using their first name. That's usually most personal. I wouldn't go for their whole name, because otherwise it would say, hey, welcome to, or like, thanks, where were you yesterday? Wilco de Cray. But who says that? Like, you wouldn't say it with first and last name in most cases. So just keep using the first name, makes it more personal. So that is what I call the image hack. And in the next video, I'll show you on my screen what steps to take, how you can easily send out an email like that with an image. And this will work with pretty much every autoresponder you have. Cool. And that was that. Was that good? Let me know. Let me know. How do you tailor make the name of the postcard? So that's actually also done with a tool like Nifty Images. Like to set that up, that's a whole different story. With the postcards, and this is just like between you and me, I'm not sharing this publicly. I don't think, like, I have shared it once before for those who, like, for some paying customers, but we're using a service for the postcard. We're using a service called LOB, L-O-B.com, L-O-B.com. I would not recommend that right away. I just think about it, but basically it's like for $1, they will send you a postcard worldwide, or like $1.50. And you can do this as well. Again, there are some technical steps to take to actually implement that. I'm not going to go into that right now, but for those who are hacking things together, basically, lob.com, where you can do that. Cool. Cool stuff. All right, let's keep on going. Actually, I think it's good to pick a winner as well before we go to the next video for the t-shirt. I think that'll be good. And as I mentioned before, for those who don't know, like Viral is obviously the company that I built, and that's our tool that helps people to build up an email list faster than anything else I've seen before. And it uses the viral loop, right? Getting people to share your message. I mean, I'm not sure if I even have it here. My internet connection is bad here. Yeah, it's not updating right now, but like, I'm not even sure if you can see it. Let me just switch to this. But oh no, that's not. Like, here's just an example of Twitter. Probably you cannot really see it, but like, there's tons of people like talking about this event as we go. Like, this is just from today, actually. If you would like, because of this, like, because we have this unique invite link below, and we have an incentive for people to share. People have been sharing it everywhere. Like, I saw it on Facebook, saw it on LinkedIn, I saw it on Twitter, and I even saw, like, I saw on the stats, I saw a lot of people shared it on WhatsApp, on Messenger, like privately via email, stuff like that, all leading to this event. And like, I would not have been able to reach all those people without all of your help. And that's what we do at Viral. We help people build up their email list a lot faster, right? And you can do multiple things. You can do, for example, like if you get, for example, 3 of your friends to sign up, then you will get something. And that's often used in B2B, right? You can actually unlock a reward. It's not like, hey, you can win something, but it's more like, hey, if you get 5 of your colleagues, then you get this white paper, like whatever it is, right? Or you can do a sweepstake where you can actually win something, right? Hey, the more people you actually invite, the more people you actually sign up, then the higher likelihood you have that you win something. Now, in this campaign, I figured, you know what, I'm just going to combine them. 3 of your friends, if they sign up, you get our free tool, as I mentioned before. but also we have something to win. And right now, I'm going to use a viral to pick a winner for this t-shirt. So I'm just going to log in right now. Let's see, am I still logged in? I am. And I wish I could show it, but it would actually show the email addresses, so I cannot do that. I can do it slightly though. I'm just grabbing the webcam already. At random, to make sure the more points you have, and the winner is, I need to, hold on, I need to, which camera is streaming? That camera. Whoop. Now we're going to the webcam. And the winner is Andrej. I'm not sure if I can pronounce it. The second name you'll see there. Andrej. I hope I'm not messing this up. But if your name is Andrej, then you are the winner of the free shirt. So we will get in touch with you after the live cast, probably tomorrow. So congrats on that for winning the t-shirt. I'm not sure if you're here, let me know. And if you are, don't forgive me for mispronouncing your name. Cool. I don't see a chat just yet, but hopefully that person is here. Again, I'll try it one more time. Andrej. He is from Poland, based on his email address. So that clarifies the name. And people always have a hard time pronouncing my name. Like most people say, like Wilco de Kretsch. I'll real quick. In Dutch, my name would be Wilco de Krij. Try that. But most people say Wilco de Kretsch, and I'll listen to that either way. Cool. All right. So that means that so far, just to make sure it's not working, we've been talking about. Hold on. We've been talking about the webinar follow-up sequence. We've been talking about activity-based segmentation and adding the image hack, which you can use in any of your emails, right? That's not just for the webinar follow-up sequence. And then in the next video, which I have to record on my screen, is where I'll actually show step by step how to do all of that, like the activity-based segmentation, the image hack, and all of that. Also, all the emails in the webinar follow-up sequence are going to be part of that last video as well. And like the PDFs are going to be in the course. And that brings me, I need to drink some water. And that brings me to the next sequence. And the next sequence is actually the easiest one to create. And I bet it's going to be your most profitable one. So my voice is acting up after 3 days of talking. I'm not used to that. Hopefully it will last a little bit longer. So the next sequence is really like, if all you're doing from this whole setup is just the next one thing, it will probably take you 30 minutes or maybe 60 if you're slow, but like whatever, like it's pretty fast. You set it once, you can forget about it after, and it's going to be your most profitable thing you've done today or this week or whatever. I promise you that, and it's super easy. So that's what we're going to do in the next video, the abandoned card sequence. So let me get ready for that video. And obviously the name kind of gives it away, right? If not, then, well, I think it does. All right. And let me switch to the right screen. There we go. Make sure you can all see it. Cool. Let's just keep on going. Let's do a quick check on the chat if there's any issues or anything like that. You're welcome. Cool. Appreciate you all. I really do, actually. Good stuff. Let's dive into the next video, the abandoned card sequence. So for a long time, I've always thought, when someone visits your sales page, you kind of know that not everyone is going to buy your product, right? I mean, a 100% conversion rate would be kind of epic. But for a long time, for many years, I've always assumed that once someone goes to your checkout page and once they're ready to buy, they would just buy, right? And it wasn't until I really dove into the statistics and actually checked, like, hey, even if people go to my checkout page and they're like, apparently they're committed to make that purchase, they're still just abandoning their cart. They're just not abandoning their cart. They're just not making that purchase. And I'm like, why is that, right? So at that point, I started thinking, and obviously this is something that a lot of people already did, is I've been adding what's called an abandoned cart sequence. And what this means is that if someone would go to your checkout page, someone would be really on the edge of buying. They went through your sales page, or perhaps you did a webinar, they went through your webinar, and they have all the information, and they go all the way to your checkout page. And if they then suddenly leave without buying, guess what? Roughly 30 minutes after, or sometimes even 15 minutes, I send them an email, right? And I try to save that customer, I try to save that sale, try to get them over the edge to try to make sure he or she becomes a customer. And when I looked at the stats, this one email that we're sending out, actually we're sending out two, and I'll share them with you. They are consistently the highest revenue emails in our business, even though we're sending out like major automations and major broadcasts as well. But the abandoned cart sequence is the most profitable email we have, which is all the more reason for you to implement it as well. This is something that's super easy to implement. It will only take you 30 to 60 minutes for your business, and it is super powerful. So in the next video, I'll show you exactly how to set that up. But in this video, I want to show you exactly what my abandoned cart sequence is, so exactly what I'm emailing them and why. So let's say someone is about to purchase a viral, but again, they leave without buying. They checked out my checkout page, but they left without buying. What I'm then doing is like, I'm sending out this particular email. I say, hey there, I noticed you were about to pick up a viral and you didn't get a chance to finish your order. I just wanted to see if there were any problems or anything else I could help you with. What stopped you from making your purchase? You can still get the special offer here. Please let me know. Wilco. And there's a very good reason why I'm doing it like this. Like, obviously, I could also try to be pushy and I could try to be like, hey, you forgot your purchase, like go here and buy because it's all good for all this and this reasons. But I believe that once someone goes to my checkout page, they've already seen all of the marketing materials, but maybe there's just something that's holding them back. Maybe they just want that personal connection, or maybe there's just something, they're like, hey, it doesn't do this one thing. So I'd much rather try to get them to respond to us, try to get them to reply like, hey, yeah, I wasn't really sure about this, or hey, it just wasn't the right time, but in 3 months from now, I'll get it. And if that is the case, that's fine. Then I'd much rather just wait for 3 months, and then at some point they'll get another email marketing message, and they may get access to it at that point, instead of just pushing them away and just try to be push, and trying to get them to make a purchase, right? So I'm really just trying to get someone to reply to me and say like, hey, this is why I didn't purchase, right? And also, if I get any replies to that, it will help me improve my marketing message. Because if someone may be replying to you, or quite a few people are replying to you saying like, hey, yeah, I wasn't sure about the shipping costs if you are doing e-commerce, right? I wasn't sure about the shipping cost. Then maybe if 5 or 6 people are asking the same thing, maybe you should make sure to add that clearly on your sales page to make sure, hey, free shipping included, right? To make sure you cover that objection, and that the next time someone is going to visit your sales page, that's not going to be an objection anymore, and they go through the sales process without having to get this email in the first place. And also, one thing that's very important to add is the link to the checkout page, because maybe they were just busy. Maybe it just wasn't the right time at that point. They were at a mobile device and they were like a bit in a hurry, but maybe later on they get that email and they're on a desktop. They have all the time in the world. You want to make sure that they don't have to go looking where to actually make a purchase, that you can just click on that button and continue with their process. Now, in case someone doesn't reply to that email, or someone doesn't actually make a purchase, then one day later I'm actually sending them another email, which is this email right here. Hey there, wanted to check in if you got my email yesterday. If you missed it, no worries. Just wanted to offer my help for you to make an informed decision about a viral, since I noticed you were planning to get it earlier. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. You can still finish your order here. Cheers, Wilco. Again, super low key, not being pushy, not being salesy, just trying to get people to like, hey, if there's anything at all, please do let us know so we can actually help you and resolve it and see if we are a good fit for you. And this is a real good, this is the template I've been using for a lot of our products, as something that you're happy, as something that you can just copy as you, as something that you can just copy if you want. There's no worries or problem with that. Now, another good abandoned cart email template which you could be using is what's known as the 9-word email from Dean Jackson. So Dean Jackson is very familiar. So Dean Jackson is famous for one of his emails, which he calls as the 9-word email. And all he's saying is like, are you still looking to XYZ, right? So for example, if someone would go to your checkout page and they wouldn't actually make a purchase, right? And they would just leave, then let's say you would send out an automated email 30 minutes later, and all it would say is like, hey, are you still looking at getting your house painted? Cheers, Wilco, right? If that is what you would be selling. What's going to happen at your customer's mind? They'll be like, hey, that's a coincidence. I actually just checked out their site, but now he's sending me an email. Yes, I was actually thinking of that. Right? Let me reply back. And now you're in a conversation, right? So that's often what you want to do. You want to be in a conversation so that you can help them along and remove any obstacles. So it's a real simple email. It's literally only like, hey, are you still looking to whatever someone is trying to do? Are you still trying to improve your emails? Are you still trying to improve your Facebook ads? Are you still trying to grow your business? Are you still trying to get your roof painted? Are you still trying to get solar panels installed? Let me know. Cheers, Wilco. Super simple email, but it's getting people to actually respond to your email. From that point onwards, you can take it a step further and give them the personal touch they actually need. And that's how we do the abandoned cart sequence. In the next video, I'll show you my exact automation and how to set it up step by step on my screen so you can have this implemented in like 30 minutes or less. Cool. That was that video. Let me just go back into the chat to see how things are going. Tidim. I see Mitch is in the house as well. I lost my mouse. Oh, here's my mouse. So there's someone, Wadoki says like, I use a variation of your abandoned cart sequence. It works very well. I get a chance to interact with customers. Exactly, right? Again, we're trying to get the right message to the right person at the right time. And this is going out to the right person because they just checked out your sales page or your checkout page, the right message because it's specifically to them at the right time. So yeah, and that way you can actually get in touch because it's not just about automation, it's also about keeping things personal. That's what I truly believe. Let's see. Heidi is not happy. What is going on with Heidi? I don't know what it is, but Heidi, feel free. Could you please send me an email at info@emarketer.nl, info@emarketer.nl. If there's anything, then please do let me know. All right. Let's see, is there anything else? All right, cool. I'm just gonna take a sip of water. My Mac is, I was trying to click somewhere, but my Mac is suddenly super slow, so I'm kind of waiting for it to respond. Anyway, so how was that? Was it good? The abandoned cart sequence? And by the way, actually I'm curious, like, I just saw someone had already implemented. Who here already has the abandoned cart sequence implemented in some shape or form? I'd love to hear. My guess is that most of you haven't, which is fine. Actually, it's funny. Like in our business, as with every business, there's always a lot of stuff that goes wrong. Like if everything would go perfect, that'd be amazing, right? And I like every single time someone goes wrong, I'm actually happy. And like literally this morning, I spoke with my wife about that, and she was like, well, like, why would you be happy? And in this case, it was going about her job and something was messed up. I'm like you should be happy that it's messed up. Like, why? Because you're at this certain place, like your business or at her place, like at her job, like it's going at a certain degree, like it's going this well and it's going okay. Like it's not like they're losing money. It's like they're doing all right, right? and they're doing all right despite of all the things that are going wrong. So imagine if you actually fix the things that are currently going wrong, it will only go better. So next time that something goes wrong in your business, or you're trying to start a business, something goes wrong, like don't blame, like, ah, damn it, like think of it as an opportunity. Like, we're here at this level, regardless of all the mistakes and all that. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Look, every mistake is like a big opportunity right here. Let me just, my Mac is still crashing, which is a bit of annoying. And I see Heidi is not very happy, but again, send me an email at my personal inbox, and that would be amazing. Let's keep on going, I would say, because we are at an interesting place now. We have covered the abandoned cart sequence. Again, I'm going to record a video later how to actually implement that. And now we're going into building your sales machine. So I just want to make clear that we're all on the same path here for those who are watching live. So what we've done, actually, I think I should do the summary as part of the first video. I think that would be good. Someone's saying, be fair to Heidi. Yeah, I 100% agree. I would love to be fair. But I honestly have no clue what it is. And I would love to be in conversation, so please let me know. Like, I'm not sure if you have my email. There's my personal inbox, info@emarkey.nl. Again, info@emarkey.nl. If you just send me an email and I'm not sure what's going on. I'm just trying to do the best I can. So if for some reason you feel like this is being unethical that I share all this, I hope not. Yeah. My Mac is certainly so slow. So what we've done so far is went through the foundation, and then I shared various campaigns that we're using. And again, like these, I didn't pick these 5 without a reason, right? It's all because like we're taking like a new lead who comes into your business and like try to build a relationship of trust, right? Like getting people indoctrination, like getting that relationship started. We're sending out value most to get that relationship even stronger. Hold on. Once they're actually once the relationship is established, we're sending them out a special offer sequence, or for example, a webinar follow-up sequence. And obviously, if they're already going through your stuff and they're checking out your checkout page, we want to have an automation in place to make sure we actually get more sales. Now, so far, I totally understand that this is all also like a bit overwhelming, perhaps. Obviously, in every one of those sections, there will be a video in the course where I show specifically step by step, like how I do this, how to set it up on my screen. There'll be PDFs with everything, but still, like these are still separate items in a way. So now the goal is to make it all, blending it to one, what I call a sales machine, right? Basically setting up a system where if a lead comes in, you are as likely as possible to turn them into a customer, to get people to actually buy. Is everyone going to buy? Of course not. That would be like, you would be a rock star basically. So that's obviously not going to happen. But that's what that's going to be. The next section is going to be all about. Cool. So I see Heidi is still in here. Like again, info@emarkey.nl. Send me a personal email and I'll reply to you back tonight. Tonight my wife's away, so I'll get a couple of hours of like work time. If I'm completely drained from the live cast, I hope you will apologize. You'll excuse me for sending a reply back tomorrow, but I'll definitely get back. So please send me an email, info@emarkey.nl. I wish I would know everything. I don't, and I have no clue what's going on. So please send, like, we'll get it figured out. Like, whatever it is, like, just let me know. Cool. Let's dive into the next video for the building your sales machine. I always got caught off guard. Like, to be honest, Heidi, I'm sure you're still here, but I'm also talking to the rest of you. Like, is someone, I know I shouldn't, right? I know I totally shouldn't, but if someone in our business is not happy for whatever reason, which sometimes happens, like I can get 1,000 messages of people that are happy and they're cheering and they're like, awesome, you, like we build a bigger list, or like our Facebook ads are converting better for Connectio. I can get 1,000 of those, and I can get one message from someone who's not happy, and I can be sick to my stomach for the whole day. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So Heidi, I don't know what's going on. I know I will do everything I can to fix it. So yeah, but that's, I'm just sharing that because, like, yeah, stuff like that gets me off guard. Just doing the best I can here. So trying to keep on going and share epic value for those who are willing to listen, which I do appreciate, by the way. So that was, now we're going into the third section. We did the foundation, shared the winning campaigns, and now it's all tying it together inside the building your sales machine, how I've called it. Cool. All right. Let's do it. Oh, I think it was that. That's my... Let's start with this video, the introduction video of the sales machine, building your sales machine. All right, so far we've been talking about the core fundamentals of this whole automated email strategy. And after that, we've been diving into 5 different automated email sequences that you can set up in your business, along with various tactics. Now, at this point, it's time to put it all together and let's formulate a game plan to actually create a sales machine inside your business. And what I mean with that is a machine that at an automated basis will, once someone opts into your email list, once someone enters your email list, signs up, they will get certain automated messages to make it as likely as possible that they will turn out on the other side as a customer. Now, obviously, not everyone who's going to opt into your email list is going to end up being a customer. I wish that were true, but we can make that as likely as possible. And that's what we're going to do in this section. Now, what's really important is that, oh, no, hold on, let me open this one. Because once this is all in place, then the right people on your list will get the right message at the right time, which is all about the 3R model that we discussed earlier, and without having to rely on just email broadcasts. You don't have to send out email broadcasts all the time. Now, I do want to be clear though, because this whole automated setup, it's not exclusively. You will still be sending out email broadcasts to your list, but this whole system that we're going to set up with all the email automation that I've shared before, it's going to help you get better and more results from your email broadcast. Because even if you send out an email broadcast, they're going to be more targeted because of segmentation. You are going to know, like, hey, if someone's from that broadcast, they're going to click over to my checkout page, and if they suddenly, you know, for whatever reason they're interested but they just don't buy, then automatically there's going to be an email going out trying to recover that customer, trying to send them the abandoned cart sequence, just as an example. But what's really important here is that this whole system that I've been talking about is something that you'll have to be built over time, step by step. I would not advise you to try to implement everything all in one go. So everything you wanna add into this. So by doing this step by step, you're going to be adding new elements into your business. And every single time you add something like that, you are building and growing your business. Just by simply adding an abandoned cart sequence right now, today, you can have that implemented, and that's going to work for your business for years to come, right? Personally, I've had abandoned cart sequences that I've set up 2 or 3 years ago, and they're still effective and working today. And that's what we're doing. We're stacking things up to each other. But what's really important to realize is that Rome wasn't built in one day. So again, if you're trying to do everything at once, it's not going to work. And that's why in this section, I'm going to dive into some more details of like what you can do right now, a step-by-step game plan of how you can do it. And then I'm going to dive on my screen and show you exactly how to blend it all together. I'll see you in the next video. All right. Let me check the chat if there's anything missing. Cool, thanks for the kind words. Thanks, I appreciate the kind words. Someone's saying ban her, or like, but I don't know how to do it. Maybe she's just an ex. I guess I would remember that. Glad my wife's not here. All good. Let's keep on going. So that is the first part of the all right, so now we're going to dive into the next video, which is the broadcast boosters, right? Let me just switch to my screen because I forgot that in the last video. My apologies, everyone. Let me just open this up as well. Throughout this whole training so far, even though we've mainly been talking about email automations, there are quite a few tactics that you can get out of it and you can use in any of your emails. And that's what I want to dive into this video. So if you already have an email list and every now and then you're sending out an email to your email list for example, an offer, or you want to get the word out about something, there's certain things you can do from this course that I've been teaching in this course earlier on that I want you to know that you can use that and plug that in right inside your emails today. So if you're sending out an email tomorrow, for example, you can use these things to make sure you get a better response from your audience, you're treating your audience better, and you just get better results from them. And the main things from this course that you can use in your broadcast is obviously the first one is personalization, right? I've been talking about various ways of personalizing your emails, not just with the first name, but even by doing things like, hey, awesome, it's always great to see people from Germany or from France or whatever their country is from, to make your emails more personalized. And you can use that in any of your broadcast emails as well. Also, the interest-based segmentation, that's something that will help you improve your broadcast emails, right? If you know exactly from your whole list, instead of sending out to all 1,000 people or to all 2,000 people, however people are on your email list, instead of doing that, you would send out an email to just the 500 people that you know are interested in that specific thing. Trust me, you get a much higher response rate from those people. Or maybe you know exactly from those 500, you send them a personalized email, and the rest, the remaining 1,500 people, you send them the general email that you would otherwise have sent as well. And oftentimes it's all about just changing one little sentence, right? It's all about, if I would send out an email about Up Viral and saying like, hey, it's an awesome thing to build up your email list. Obviously, I could, like, if I know someone is interested in Facebook ads, I could add one sentence to the email at the start. I could say something like, hey, if you're running Facebook ads and you want to build up your email list faster, listen up, right? That simple thing would make sure that people acknowledge like, hey, I'm in the right place. I read this and this is for me because I'm actually interested in Facebook ads, right? So oftentimes you don't have to create multiple emails, but just adding one simple sentence based on the interest-based segment, based on interest-based tagging, which we spoke about before and I showed you on my screen. Personalized image is also something that you can use inside your broadcast emails, right? If you just want to stand out with a certain email, it's not something I would do in any email because that would just be, that would be too much. But every now and then you can do it, just if you want to stand out, or if there is, maybe if you want to send out a special message, even if you just want to send out a Christmas message with like a Christmas hat and all that, and you just want to say something like personalized, like you rock, or like Merry Christmas Jane, Merry Christmas Mario, like automatically, and that it's just slightly different and it stands out from the rest, which is what marketing is all about. We also spoke about the special offer sequence, which is obviously something you can automate, but in this case, you can definitely use that as a broadcast message. So in that PDF, you see exactly what emails I'm sending. And in the video, we spoke about the offer, sending out social proof, removing the obstacles using our FAQ email, and the scarcity for the last day, a couple of scarcity emails. Again, you can use those swipes and use that for a broadcast email as well. and obviously the webinar follow-up email. If you are doing a live webinar at some point or a live presentation and you're wondering what to send out to those people afterwards, then obviously you can use the swipe file from the webinar for your broadcast message as well. So these are just some of the ideas that you can take from earlier in this course, you can apply to your broadcast messages, the messages that you're sending out to your whole list, where you just go into your autoresponder, you type a message and hit send, and it will go out to everyone. In the next video, we're actually going to talk about your automation plan, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on what I think you should do first. See you there. Cool. That was that. Let me just dive back into the chat. Thanks for the kind response. I really Someone's saying, I'm actually glad to see this stuff happens to everyone. Now I don't feel like it only happens to me. Yes, we're all in this together. We're all human here. And I'm glad people are enjoying it. Andrew, glad you're enjoying it as well. I appreciate people are, yeah, relax. I know. Thanks. Doing my best here. Cool. So, I've got what I think will be good, will be fun, is to do a winner selection, right? Because, you know, maybe it's a good time to cheer up a little bit and just pick a winner. And what we're gonna, the next winner, what's gonna be, like we have 2 more rounds of winner. Like the next one is gonna win a 1-year viral pro account. And I think a lot of you already know what a viral is. If not, it's the best thing ever. I'll talk more about a viral pro in a little bit, for sure. And I'm actually gonna pick the winner right now, log into my screen. For someone who's gonna get a 1-year viral pro, we're selling that for $49 a month right now. This is just between us. We're about to increase the prices soon. Right now it's still $49 a month, so that's close to $600 a year for a viral pro. And whoever is winning it right now is gonna get that for free for the full year. So congrats on that. Unless, of course, we're checking the fraud detection later on. We have a system that automatically checks if someone is trying to trick the system. If I pick a winner and I check later on, and you've been trying to trick the system, I'm going to pick another winner. Just want to be clear on that to make sure. Pick the winner, and how it works is that they will, and the winner is, that's a general name. Winner is William. And there could be multiple people that are saying like, oh, but I'm William. No, I cannot reveal his email address, obviously, but I can say in his email address, and the William will know who it is something with audio as well as food. And I think if you are the William that entered that email address, then obviously you will know that it's you. So William, congrats with a viral pro for a full year. And obviously you're not just getting a viral pro, but what you're actually getting is a way to build up your email list a lot faster, right? I mean, I've been sharing tons of case studies in the past, and I've been showing various videos about how success stories of people that have been using a viral. Like for example, Matthew, he used a viral, and within his first month, he got over 100,000 leads using a viral, which is insane, right? And what's cool, like when he actually did that, when Matthew did that campaign, viral was all about building up your email list, right? But now we actually have a ton more stuff as well. So for example, we have what's called custom actions, which means that if you want to incentivize people to join your Facebook Messenger list, and subscribe to your Instagram, or join your YouTube channel, or subscribe to your podcast, or do whatever, and you can do that too, and you can incentivize that using custom actions. So that's really, really cool. And recently we had a case study of someone, I don't remember the exact, actually I do have a clip from that. Let me just search for that real quick. Switch to this camera. So we had someone who used a viral, and with this viral campaign, I don't remember the exact number. I think it was around $300,000 in revenue from his viral campaign, because he used custom actions. So he got people to opt in, it went viral. It was awesome. And I do have a quick video, but I need to find that video. Let me just hold on, because I think it will be good to see as a source of inspiration, because someone from my team, he invited him. Hold on. I should have prepared for this. And that's the thing with live, not always as prepared, but it's actually part of a case study. Some of you may have actually seen it because I've sent out an email as well on our blog at viral.com/blog. There's a whole blog post with a bunch of, with like the whole case study in depth, basically. So I'm just gonna play that video right now and I'll be back in a quick sec.
Essentially what we sell are small log cabin kits. I started getting these subtle hints from my mom, you know, check out this ad, it's a tiny home, or check out this, it's a yurt, and all these. The one that I really was drawn to were these kind of chalet style log cabin bunkies, and I really liked how they could be put together, you know, by the homeowner in a relatively short amount of time. I just found the whole thing really intriguing. So I ended up taking the leap and I bought one. So that was kind of the launch of it. And that year I paid it off, the whole bunkie off within about 7 or 8 months. And I sat my wife down after the first year. I said, Carrie, like, this is the best investment we've ever made. So I sold a bunch of these. I had some student rentals, and so I had to learn about the process of how to get them made, where do they come from. I just learned all that, how to get the best deal on them, and started kind of just selling to friends and family, and then it kind of grew from, yeah.
Cool. Well, it is a great story. It really is. I mean, it's one of those, out of necessity, a business comes out of something. I think it's a really good story. I really do. There's not many out there. What made you use Up Viral in campaign you're doing?
So basically, this is the second year we've done a contest, and yeah, just basically, I was looking for another solution that was just more flexible, you know, better on the cost end of things, and I got involved with Up Viral because I run another business where we a lot of referral generation. It seemed a lot more flexible. It seemed like the development team was like actively working on the project as opposed to just abandoning it. So yeah, I thought it seems like the right fit. I gave it a try with my other business and kind of just tested the waters a little bit, and then realized, okay, this year we're going to do the contest again. Let's do it. Let's do it. And man, Up Viral has actually completely exceeded my expectations in terms of what I was able to pull off of it.
I want to sort of like switch over to talking about the campaign now. And how many days do you run it over?
So basically 26 days. So we started the 1st of February. We ended the 26th of February for the campaign.
Here are the stats, David, from 27th of January, because obviously you were trialing it out. The stats speak for themselves, to be quite honest. And what is it, 300,000? Or was it 340? I'm sure you said that it'd gone up or something, but it was about, 300,000 in sales?
Everything said and done now, you know, the contest has been closed for 10 days or so. We're at 300,000, pretty much exactly.
That was from the 1st to the 20th, was it?
Yeah, the sales all came virtually. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 that trickled in.
Yeah.
But as soon as the contest closed, everybody got out their checkbooks, and then we sold basically almost the whole 300,000 in the next 3 days. That's the magic, is just obviously have a great offer, try to zoom in on that great audience who's going to actually buy this product, and then just execute the plan in a sequential, logical way, more or less, right?
Yeah. Well, on that, David, I just want to say thanks very much for your time, and I really appreciate it. I'll speak to you soon, and good luck in your next Up Viral campaign.
Okay, thanks so much.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
So yeah, once again, like William, you're not just gonna get a Viral Pro. Well, you are, but obviously this is the kind of stuff that you can do with Up Viral, right? Building up your list, growing your business, and that's what we've been doing for a long time. So congrats once again for the free account for a full year, and thanks obviously for sharing the message along with your friends. I really do appreciate that. If you're watching live, I'm also appreciating it if you're not watching live, but I'd appreciate it more if you'd be live as well. So with that having said, let's dive into the next video. Again, just dancing a little bit to keep my energy a bit up for the automation plan. And I need to have an extra mouse because always it's either there or it's over there. Super annoying. It doesn't really matter. So in this, I'm gonna give it a bit more of an email list. Like, I actually got a question for, like, maybe it's a personal thing to ask, right? But I'm actually legitimately curious. Roughly, how big is your current email list, right? Do you have an email list? Like, if it's 0, that's totally fine. What I'm gonna do in the next video is like create an action plan for like, if you already have an email list or if you don't have an email list yet. So if you don't have a list, that's totally fine. But I'm actually curious, like, roughly how many people do you have on your list? And if you don't want to say how big it is, like, you can just say enough or something like that, like, or say I have an email list. So at least I know that you do have an email list, but you rather not share how much. But it's good for me to sort of know how many people have an email list and how many people don't. And by the way, if you want to check the full case study later, from the video I just played, again, viral.com/blog, and there's like a full in-depth article, exactly, like there's a lot of videos and text, and you get a lot of inspiration from that, all done using Viral. Awesome, I already see quite a few people who already have an email list, and Enki has 200, Natasha has 850, Bad has 230, Jatje has 1600, Sys Platform, you guys have over 2000, my Dutch friends, Mr. Bok Review has over 400. Cool. Some people don't have an email list, which is also just fine, it's just starting, because that's where we'll have to start. So there's some people already have a list, some people don't, which is totally fine. And that's why I have 2 automation plan systems. And I'm actually going to start with if you don't have an email list just yet. And also, and by the way, right here, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me just move to this camera. We're currently doing the building your sales machine automation plan. This is the video I'm currently going to do, automation plan right here. We're also going to talk about filling your machine with leads. So once you would have a machine like this, like get people leads into your opt-in list, right? That's what we're going to talk about in a bit as well. So bear with me if you don't have a list yet. We'll get there as well. All kinds of good stuff to be shared. All right, let me start with this video. Just preparing in my mind. So as I mentioned, Rome wasn't built in one day, and neither is a good email automation system, right? So far we've been talking about all kinds of automations, and as I mentioned before, you don't want to implement all of them at the same time. But if that is the case, then where do you start? Like, what do you do? So in this video, I want to give you a step-by-step plan, so you have an idea of in what order to do things and when to do what kind of things. And then in the next video, I'm actually going to show you on my screen how to connect it all together, along with all the videos that you already had previously in this course. So where to start? And that really depends on where you are currently at, because I know from experience that some people who are watching this course, they don't have an email list yet, or they have an email list of maybe 100 people, and that's obviously a different situation compared to someone who already has 2,000 people on their email list, for example. That's completely different. And it will be crazy to say like, hey, you should do this, this, and this, because both of these persons, they're going to be in different situations, and all of things are going to be relevant. So what I want to do is I want to give you my recommendation for you in your situation, depending on where you are at. And I'm going to do that by starting out by talking about like, what would I do from your position if you don't have an email list just yet? And after, I'm going to give you the step-by-step plan of what you can do, what I would do if you already have an email list. And my goal with this is to be basically, like, in a perfect world, we would do everything, but that's not realistic. So I try to be as conscious with my time as possible. So I'm always asking myself, like, where can I invest time so I get the best return on my time? And sometimes, even though something could work, if that takes a lot of time, we're just waiting for that. If there's something else which we can do in like 30 minutes and we can get results right away. So I'm always trying to balance between that, right? We're not trying to do everything. We're trying to do the right things at the right time. So if you don't have an email list yet, then what I would recommend as the very first step is to make sure you have an email automation tool. And there's various tools out there. Like personally, I'm using ActiveCampaign. Another well-known tool is Drip, but it may well be that your tool that you're currently using has enough of what you need, right? You don't need to switch. And my guess is that you already have an email autoresponder, and every single day, all the autoresponders in the market, they're working hard on adding these kind of automations in their system. So there's many of the platforms that initially only had the broadcast emails, but they're already doing all the automated emails as well. So there's a good chance you don't have to switch. Unfortunately, I don't know all the tools from the top of my mind, because there's over 50 in the market. So it's best to ask your email autoresponder to ask them like, hey, can we actually personalize things? Most email autoresponders can. And can we also automate messages? For example, when they visit my website, can I actually track that? Not every tool can, but the reason why I would start out with a system like this is because I know from experience that once you are using a certain autoresponder and you at some point, maybe 1 or 2 years later down the line, you want to switch to a different one, it is very hard and it is a lot of work. And that's why my recommendation is, if you don't have an email list yet, that's the easiest moment you can actually switch to a different system. Will you have to learn a new system? Yes, you will, because maybe you're already familiar with the system. But later on, in the long run, I think it will actually help you. Now, this is not required at all. That's just my recommendation if I'm really thinking long term for you and your business. Assuming you would have a system like that. Next step, the first thing I would do after is to implement the indoctrination sequence. And why would you do that? Right? Why would I say do that first? And the reason why I want to do that first is because it is really easy to create. And as I've showed you earlier on my screen in that implementation video, it is very easy to create, and it is actually just one email. Well, by doing that, you're going to make sure that once you get people onto your email list, because hereafter we're going to talk about, building your email list. Once you get people onto your email list, you are not just, getting leads, how many people call it. Hey, we're getting leads. You don't want to get leads. You want people on your list. You want to have a relationship with those people. And if you just get people onto your email list and you're not building any kind of relationship based on trust, then it's going to be very hard later on to use those leads to actually get them to become a customer, right? And that's the end goal. The goal is never to build your email list, right? The goal is to grow your business and get more customers. I much rather have 500 people that are truly engaged, right? Versus 5,000 people who wouldn't care who I am, who don't have any connection with me, who just opted in for whatever, and they have no clue what I am, what I stand for, or what to expect from me or my business, right? So that's why I would go and create a quick indoctrination sequence, which is really simple, and it's really just one email, could be 2. That's all it takes. And then obviously I would start focusing on building your email list, right? In the next step-by-step plan for those who already have an email list, it's all completely different. But obviously, like, if this whole system, it's all great and all, but I don't want you to spend a lot of time setting it all up before even being able to get any leads, right? Because you need to get people in. So I want you to put your attention there first, and I'll talk more about that later as well. So focus on building your email list. So only after you've got some people onto your email list, right? Then I would start sending out emails. I would still not automate anything, but I would use the content of this course to send out broadcast messages. Specifically, I would send out valuable content to your audience as a broadcast message in a way, the type of content that they will say like, awesome, like I'm honestly like, this is good value for me, and that you're actually genuinely helping your audience. And what you need to do while you're writing those emails is save those emails somewhere, so you can later on at another stage in your business, you can use them to automate your marketing, right? Because right now it's not about automation right at the start if you don't have an email list yet, but you want to make sure that you do all the work you do right now. For example, writing those emails, you'll have those on file for later on to use. And what's going to happen is if you send those value emails to your email list, to your brand new list, you're completely new to email marketing, which is totally fine. It will help you learn a new skill, and that is to craft a good message. You will send out an email, and sometimes people will just not respond. They will not click on your link. That's fine. Like, the only thing you will learn from that is like, all right, the message I just wrote wasn't the best message. Let's try something else. Next time you send out an email and all of a sudden, quite a few people open that email and they click on the link. Hey, that's interesting. Like, you're learning to craft your message for your audience. You're learning what your list actually wants to read and hear about, right? Because I can give you all the theories I want. I can give you all the step-by-step checklist of like what headlines you write and what copy to put into your email, as I did earlier on in this course. But the problem is that you'll still have to check like what does your audience actually respond to. And there's only one way to really discover that, and that is trial and error. So I want you to start sending out emails that are valuable to your audience, and then send an offer sequence to your as a broadcast. And ideally do it with the segmentation that I talked to you about earlier and I showed you on my screen, but that's really important. So yeah, send an offer. Come on. So in other words, send out a good offer to your list. Make sure they know what the offer is. Make sure you have good social proof. Make sure you remove all their obstacles, and then have a day of scarcity. Because obviously you want to make sure that your leads also start buying. And again, this is also to help you craft your message. You will see exactly like, hey, people are actually buying my product or my service. This is awesome. That will give you the motivation, because let's be real, if you currently don't have an email list yet, it's not just about the perfect system, but it's also about just keep on going, right? And I totally know from experience that it can be hard to start, and you'll need that initial piece of motivation, and you'll need to have like these tiny little wins. And that's why I wouldn't recommend you to build a whole automation setup, because you would spend a long time and you would be demotivated and then it would stop. But instead, what you should do is try to get tiny little wins. Get some people onto your email list. Send out an email. Be happy that they click on your link, and then start sending out a promotion. And the first person buys, and then maybe two. And those are the little wins that are important, right? It's not just about getting that one extra customer. It is about getting momentum. It's about moving forward. And only after you're getting into that feeling, we're going to actually build the automations using the same emails that you wrote. So you're going to keep those value emails that you wrote. You're going to keep the emails for the offer that you wrote as a broadcast email, but you're going to use those same emails for automation, so that once you know like, hey, this promotion that I sent out, it actually works. People are like, if I send this out, people actually do buy. Guess what? Then we're going to build an automation as I've showed you before, because then if a new person joins your list, they will get into the indoctrination video that you've created, and then they're going to get the value emails. You're building your relationship, and then they're going to get the offer sequence. They're going to buy your product, all automated. Is that something that we're going to build on day one? No. Is that something that's going to be there eventually? Yes, you can do it, and I know you can. So that is a rough overview of like what I would recommend you to do if you currently don't have an email list yet. Now, I also know some of you're listening to this and you're like, but I already have an email list. Like, what should I do? That's what I'm going to go dive into right now. And again, in the next video, I'll show you on my screen. I'll put it all together so you know exactly what to do and where to click and all of that. Oops, hold on. Assuming that you already have an email list, and I'm assuming that you already have an automation tool that you're using. And if not, that would be the obvious first thing to check. But the real first actionable thing I would do is I would start all the way at the end. And that is to implement the abandoned cart sequence. And I know it's sort of counterintuitive to start all the way at the end. But this sequence to add, if you already have an email list, this is going to be the most profitable thing you can do. And because it's so easy to set up, as I've showed you before in one of the videos, it's super easy to set up, but it's going to be your highest ROI email that you're going to have in your business. And once you've set it up, it's going to work on for your business for a long time. And that's why I want you to do that first. Like, that would be the first thing to do, so you have a quick win and you get immediate results from everything you've learned right here. And only after you've done that, and once that's in place, and once you're happy with that part, we move on to the next thing. It's always important to finish something off before you move to the next thing. If you try to do everything all at once, it will not get done. And I know that from experience. So make sure you got the abandoned cart sequence in place. It's all working. Then once that's done, you're going over to the next step, which is to implement the indoctrination sequence. To make sure, again, this is super easy to set up, and that's why it's the next one. It's a quick win. Once people opt into your list, you start that relationship based on trust. You do something else different compared to everyone else in your market. The next thing would be to create the value sequence to make sure that once people opted in, if you get more people onto your list, they're going to get something of value, build that relationship, and then the offer sequence. So this is the logical order for people who already have an email list, but I would most definitely start with the abandoned cart sequence. And obviously for those who don't have an email list, even though the abandoned cart sequence may be super profitable, this only works if people are already on your email list. If they're not on your email list, there is no way to send them an email automatically if they leave your checkout page. And that's why I did not put that on top for those who don't have an email list just yet. So this is the rough outline. The basic step-by-step below, you'll find a PDF with those steps written down as well. So you can actually download it and print it out as a easy to use checklist. And in the next video, I'm actually going to go on my screen and I'll show you my automation setup, how to connect it all together. So let's get to it. Cool. That was that video. Was that good? Let me know. Cool. Again, my mouse is gone. Let's see if there's any questions. There's a lot of chatter going on, so I probably missed quite a few things. Any thoughts on ClickFunnels/Marketo/HubSpot? So honestly, personally, I use ClickFunnels. I'm not saying it's the best tool. It's just what I happen to use, and I've never used Marketo or HubSpot, so I'm not sure. I checked out HubSpot once, and I think they're fairly pricey, quite expensive, but I'm not 100% sure. Any idea on how to get a list re-engaged that has been abandoned? Good question. So what do you do if you have a list, but you never really sent any emails? I had that before as well. And I think the most important part is if you, basically it's like reconnecting with an old friend, right? The last thing you want to do is say like, hey, but it's been 2 years since I saw you. By the way, can you do me this favor? That's not going to work. And same thing with email. So whenever you try to re-engage an email, old email list, do it with value. Like send something out that they want. Don't just send just one video and then they're like, oh, they're re-engaged. No, send out multiple emails that just share value. And what's important there is that it's going to be very hard to know what your list sees as value, right? So because what is value, right? Because like if I would send an email, for example, I could share a tip about how to improve your Facebook ads. And to some part of my email list, that would be valuable. However, if someone is not interested in Facebook ads, but they are maybe interested in building up their email list, they may, like the Facebook ad tips, that's not valuable. It's not relevant for them. They're not really re-engaging yet. So when doing a re-engagement campaign, it's important to send out valuable things about multiple subtopics in your market. Basically, that's the way I look at it. And actually what we do in our business, that's not something I can show you right now, unfortunately, because of my screen, but we basically have a re-engagement sequence. And what it means is that if someone does not open my email for, I think like X amount of months, then automatically they're going to go into this automation as well. So basically what it's doing is like, hey, I noticed you didn't open my emails for a while. Like I wanted to check, here's some awesome value, and I'll share various marketing articles and whatnot to make sure that they, to share value, to see if they would read my email. And if they go through all kinds of value, and if this happens only months after they haven't read any of my emails. And if in that value sequence they still don't open my emails, then I'm making the hard decision to delete them from my list. And I know that is a hard thing to do, but we're doing that because if you have people on your email list that are never, ever, ever, ever opening your emails, then it's actually hurting your email inbox rating. So then the people who are willing to read your email, your email also to these people may actually end up in your spam box, and which is obviously not ideal. So it is a hard decision to delete people from your list that you've spent time on building and gathering. But I've learned that unfortunately it is the best thing to do. If they haven't, I think we do it like after 4 months, something like that. So I don't want it too fast. Some people do it after like 2 months, but I don't send enough email for that, because sometimes I don't send people an email for like a month or so, which is crazy. So then like if they miss a couple of emails, then already they would be deleted, which obviously is not the right thing to do. So I delete them after 4 months or so. I hope that answers your question. Woohoo! MindNote, yes, that's what I'm using. A Builderall, I've never used Builderall. Kartra I haven't used as well, but I've heard very good things about it, to be honest. And I have to say, my microphone. I've used the guys from Kartra. They also have had a system called Deal Guardian, which is the payment system that we used to use. We don't use it anymore. Some of you might actually recognize it. And that was a real good platform, and it was actually from the same people who built Kartra. So I was very impressed, and like they worked on Kartra for at least like 4 years or so, like before it even released. Like I got alpha access like 2 years before it was released, and back then it was like obviously not good. It was like 2 years before, like 2 years ago, a little bit more actually. But yeah, Kartra, I heard good things about it. A good question. How would you implement an abandoned cart sequence as an affiliate? You don't have cart tracking. Unfortunately, in that case, I don't see there is a good option. Unless, of course, you get... No. Like, you cannot do abandoned cart sequence. The best thing you can do is all right, this is going to be very tricky, techy, and this is not something I would recommend. I'm just saying that it's technically possible for those who are a bit of a nerd like me. Let's say you have an affiliate offer and you have a page on your own site that you where you pre-sell the offer, right? And then obviously you're going to have a link people can click on, like, hey, go here, and they go to the actual site where you actually make, where they can actually make the offer, the affiliate link, basically. And what you technically could do, but that you'll need to have a developer for that. I couldn't do that myself as well. I need to hire a developer for that, or someone who's more techy than me. But you could, in theory, get a little tag over to your autoresponder if they click on that link. That's not going to be easy. It's not going to be possible with all autoresponders. It will be with ActiveCampaign, but it would be possible. But that would be so much hassle. I would not do it. So abandoned cart sequence for an affiliate offer, I wouldn't do that. No, I would not. That as an affiliate, I wouldn't use that probably. I'm just checking the comments. When there's not a final sale card, such as in the travel agency, where more personal assessment is needed, at what point can you make the abandoned cart sequence? Good question. So I'll tell you a story of something else that we do. Actually, I'm gonna grab the whiteboard just to make sure it's all clear and all good. But that's a good question, and the answer is something that a lot of you can actually use, I think. So this is specifically for, in my case, I'm using ActiveCampaign once again. Let me just check if the screen is all good. So again, so how do you do the abandoned cart sequence if you don't actually have a checkout page, but how do you make sure that you still send out the right message? Now let's say you would have a page, right? This is your site. And you can, for example, using ActiveCampaign, you can detect like, hey, if a person visits this page, then do X, Y, or Z. That's why, let's say if we would have a checkout page right here, we can say like, hey, if someone visits this page, but they haven't purchased the viral yet, or they haven't bought your product yet, then we're going to send them an email, right? And that is not possible in this situation. Who asked it? Helen asked me. Cool. But alternate, what you could do is like, hey, if someone visits your site, then they're going to get that email. But that's not what you want to do, because they may just check out your site and they just clicked on the link from your email, for example, and they're like checking it out. And if you're just going to send like right after, you're going to be like all in their face, like, hey, do you still need help booking your holiday or whatever? That's a bit too much in your face, right? So something I'm doing as well, that is possible with ActiveCampaign, I'm not sure about others, is you can do like, hey, if someone visits this page, or if someone visits a certain page more than 5 times, right? So it will actually keep track how often someone goes back to your site. So now what you can do is that's just waiting. Someone goes to your site, check it out. Now later on, they check it out again. This is for more buyer journeys that take more time. People go through that journey and take a longer time. They need more research. They go back another time. They go back another time. I think you can even do it at 3. I usually do it at 5. And then they go another time and they still haven't purchased, right? The 5th time they're going to visit your site, they're super interested. 5th time, boom, email. Hey, do you still need help with your holiday booking? Like a half an hour, 50 minutes after. Trust me, you're going to get a lot of response. And we've done this as well, actually, on our sales pages. So we've got after 1 visit on the checkout page, but after 5 visits on the sales page, we're sending out something similar in some of our sales pages for this particular reason, even if they didn't go for a checkout page. So the answer is, if you don't have a checkout page, then depending on what tool you're using, you may be using the amount of times people go to your, basically the amount of time people visit your site. And if that's more than 5, boom, send out an email and blow them away with, helping them out one-on-one. I hope that answers your question. And all of those assume you've already gathered their email address. Yes, this is only possible if they already have your list, you already have them on your list. Like if we could just do that for everyone who visits my site, that's obviously not possible, right? And that is why it's important to build your list, which is exactly what the next part is actually about, which is a good lead in. So for the course, let's see, the next video I have to record is the building your automation system, like actually showing on my screen. Again, I mentioned this multiple times. I cannot do that right now while I'm streaming live. So that's going to be part in the actual course. But then obviously, once you have this system where, you enter your leads and then you are as likely as possible to turn them into customers because you have the right emails that are going out, like the abandoned cart, and you also, the broadcast emails and all that. You need to get people into your system. You need to get leads, right? Like without that, none of that really matters. So that's obviously important. And there are so many ways you can build your list. People do all kinds of crazy stuff to build your list. And I wanted to dive into one, and that is one strategy that I know is my favorite way of building my list, which is what most of the biggest part of our email list has been built on. We use various things. We use things like, for example, Facebook ads or like different kind of ads. We have like webinar campaigns where we run a webinar, people can sign up for the webinar and then automatically they're also added to our email list. Like we do all kinds of things. But the biggest part of my email list is all using, we already know it, viral. And I want to dive a little bit deeper into that, if you all allow me to, because I want to stress out how to do it right, how to make sure you get more people onto your email list using this system, right? Actually, let me just this mouse thing is getting annoying. So again, we're talking about how to build your list, and actually, I would say how to build your list faster than anything I've seen before. I think that's a good way of putting it. So, how to build your list faster than anything before. So before, and I'm not sure if you can see it. Like, I'll just do it like that. I think you can read it as well, right? So like regardless of how you build your list, like what most people always did, and I've been doing this as well, is basically you send any kind of traffic, and this could be anything, right? It could be Facebook ads, maybe you have a blog and people on the sidebar of your blog, but you'll have to get some traffic. And once you have that traffic, or from YouTube, people enter their email address somewhere, right? Maybe you have a page where they enter their email address, and after what you would do is like you would say thank you, right? For example. And that'll be it. Perhaps you would have an offer there, but like that would pretty much be it. It will be a flat line, right? As yesterday someone asked, is this like a funnel? Like this is a typical funnel. You send traffic into a first page, they enter the email address, and then they go there. Thank you. and then you can send them emails. That's basically the simple version of how I've been building my list for a long time. And then, oops. I realized, like, what happens if the traffic stops? Now, obviously, if this traffic stops, which does happen, like your Facebook ads account gets banned, or your YouTube or Google ads account gets banned, or anything, like your biggest affiliate would stop promoting, whatever, you don't get any leads anymore, right? And even if that wouldn't happen, the best case scenario of this is like if you have a sidebar widget, you would get, according to SumoMe, around 1% conversion. If you have a welcome mat, which is like those things that are on your page and they just scroll down right before you see the actual post, the average conversion is just slightly less than 2%. And your landing page on average, according to lead pages, is between 20 or 25%. You could push that a little bit, like 35-ish, or sometimes even 40, but like generally speaking, 20 to 25% is sort of the best case scenario of this kind of funnel, right? So after that, I figured out how to do it the smart way. We've been talking about this over the last couple of days, but since I discovered that, that's been a major change in my business to how fast I was able to build up my email list. And here's what I've been doing. And we've been talking about this, but I want to make sure it's clear for everyone, right? So a couple of years ago, some of you may know this story. I was in Sydney, in Australia, and actually half a year before that, I was running a business, and all my traffic was 100% depending on Google Ads, right? And basically I was sending Google AdWords traffic into affiliate pages, and at some point Google said like, hey, screw you, basically, all your traffic is gone because we have a new algorithm, and like we just, like, I can sort of laugh about it now. I sure couldn't back then, but basically all my traffic was gone. So I'm like, all right, what do? I booked a one-way ticket to Sydney, which is the other side of the world, and I gave myself a 6-month period to start something up new from scratch. I had no clue what I was gonna do. Anyway, I started doing some experiments, and at some point during that time, this is one of the things I did. I created an opt-in page, just like you would always do. And this is, by the way, the first time I ever built an email list. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I tried it. And then on the thank you page, instead of just saying thank you, I said, hey, thank you, but also, hey, if you want to get that thing, please share this on Facebook, like share to unlock. And if you share it with your friends, then their friends will go to the opt-in page, right? So this way they would share, and then it would unlock, and they would get that download that they wanted to have. Boom. They're happy, and their friends go there, their friends can opt in as well. So this is obviously the part where I tell you this worked awesome. Well, not really, actually. The results were okay. Like I got over 100 shares or so within the first week, but actually not the kind of results I was hoping for, because a couple things happened actually. Like, some people genuinely shared it, but like quite a few people, they shared it on the Facebook page, on their Facebook timeline, but right after they deleted it. So they unlocked the reward and then deleted it, or they did actually share it, but they shared it on a fake account. And even if they genuinely shared it, they would just share the standard message because they weren't really incentivized to get people to sign up. They would, like, if I would see a Dutch friend of mine share it, they would just have the English message there, and it would be super obvious that it was a fake, like, marketing kind of message, right? So there was something to it, because a lot of people did share. I got a couple thousand email subscribers, which was the first time ever that it happened. I never built an email list before, but there was something to be improved, right? And that's obviously when I thought of this company. We all know what that is. Like, let me know in the chat if you recognize this logo. Like, anyone recognize this logo? Obviously Dropbox, right? So if I'm going to ask you like, hey, how did you know about Dropbox? Then probably you've heard about it from a friend, right? Because at some point what they did was, it was super clever. It helped them go from 100,000 users to over 4 million because they gave everyone the unique invite link, just like I'm doing right below this video, right? That's where it all came from, right? They said like, hey, here's your unique invite link, and if your friends actually sign up, you will get extra storage. You will get extra, like 500 megabyte extra space. I'm not sure how much they give right now, but that's what they used to do. And because of this one thing, they went from 100,000 users to over 4 million users in just 15 months, all because of this unique invite link. It changed the game for them, right? Because these invite links, they gave a sense of accountability, right? Because now, and you've noticed this during this campaign, it's not just about, hey, share it on Facebook and that's it. No, you need to get your friends to sign up. And because of that, people are trying to share it everywhere, because now it's like, and not just that, they're trying to get their friends to actually sign up. They're sending it to maybe you've even shared it with a Facebook friend or a Messenger, WhatsApp friend, whatever, who you thought would be interested in this, right? So because of this, like people convince their friends using their own voice. They're trying to convince their friends in a way that they think, hey, this is how you would, like how my friends would respond to this, right? So now we're talking about the loop, right? It's not just a funnel one way, but now we send traffic into an opt-in form. People enter their email address and then they'll get, ta-da, and some kind of an incentive to share, which could be something to win. For example, if you're a B2C kind of company, or like you're selling something e-commerce or something like that, usually a sweepstake or a contest works well. Could also be something like, hey, if you get, for example, 3 of your friends to subscribe as well, then you will get something. There's no luck or no winning, but like that's a giveaway. It's good for B2B. But you give them some kind of an incentive to share, right? Because normally, like people are not like, hey, this is awesome, I'm going to share this with my friends, because we do a lot of different things. But if they like if they like what they see, and you give them an incentive to share, and you say, hey, here's your unique invite link, the more friends you get to sign up, the better it is. Like, and then what happens? Like people are their friends are going to go here as well. They opt in, and guess what? They're doing the same thing, right? So now, let's say you send 100 people in here, 100 visitors, and let's say you converted 25%, which means you got 25 leads, right? And let's say from those 25 people, let's say 5 people think like, cool, I wanna get 5 of my friends to subscribe, right? So 5 of their friends they'll get 5 of their friends to subscribe. These are fake numbers, just all right, to make a point. So from those 25 leads here, 5 people start sharing, those hop, and you got 25 extra leads. So now from the same initial 100 traffic that you sent to this page, instead of getting 25 people, now you got 50 people, right? And that's where the magic starts. And now the real cool thing is, and like I'd love to go more in depth in that at another time, but like basically, I'm gonna share you more about that information as well, actually. As soon as at some point, if this is going viral, like this is going like that, then it's not just you get 50 leads, but then it keeps on going. Like people opt in here, and then they opt in, and they opt in, like it goes into a viral loop. And there's many companies who have already done that, right? So for example, Harry's, that's how they did their pre-launch, and they went super viral. Tim Ferriss posted about it as well, how they gathered 100,000 leads in 1 week using this exact formula. And obviously you'll know the companies like, for example, Uber and Airbnb and Evernote, they're using this as well because it works. And best of all, the best thing is like when people are referred by others, like according to Nielsen, 92% of consumers trust recommendations from friends above all other forms of advertisements, which is true, right? Like when someone is recommended by a friend, we're significantly more likely to actually buy instead of just shopping around or asking for reviews or whatever. We just go with a friend's recommendation, right? So that's why this whole invite system works, because it's not like we're getting our message out to places where we would otherwise never be able to get it. Plus, we have this viral effect. We get people onto our list. They start inviting their friends. You get how it goes. And those people who are recommended by others, they're significantly more likely to recommend and trust your message compared to, for example, just simple Facebook ads, right? And so here's the cool part. So back in 2012, I did my first simple two-page site using this. This is like a long time ago, right? So I never did any promotion after that since day one, right? I just created 2 pages. Page 1, enter your email address. Page 2, here's your unique invite link. Share this with your friends, and if you get enough people, you will get access to this awesome thing. And since that time, it's always been going. Like right now, it's sort of slowed down because Pinterest has changed, and this project was around Pinterest. So you can still check it out. It's actually WP Pinner. I'm not sure if the site's still live, but if you Google for it, you'll find some resources. But the cool thing is that over time, we got 661 different referrals according to Google Analytics. And this means that 661 different websites. And just so you know, Facebook, that's one website. Twitter is one website. And that was because because of these invite links, people weren't just sharing it at one place or just at Facebook, or just like they were sharing it everywhere, like on all kinds of forums, on blog posts, wherever, just to get people to sign up through their link. And new people who came in, they kept on doing, and that's why this kept on going for years and years. And even if you would search on Twitter, again, I'm not sure for this year, 2019, but up until at least last year, there were like 2012 all the way over here, there were people tweeting about it, and every single time there were new people finding it out. Hey, cool, awesome, I'm gonna share it with my friends over and over and over. And that's how the magic works. Again, WP Pinner, if you can, maybe it's still online, I'm not 100% sure. And that is what I call the loop, right? And there's been plenty of ways how you can use this. And as I mentioned, I want to share some ideas here to help you grow your list. So for example, what you can do is run a viral giveaway. And that basically means like I said, if 3 of your friends actually get X, Y, or Z, like if 3 of your friends actually get signed up, you will get X, Y, or Z. And what I've been doing here, right here, is a typical example, right? So below here, you have this invite link. As soon as 3 of your friends sign up, then you will get this free tool, right? That's an incentive for you to start sharing. And that's what we've been doing as well. This works incredibly well for B2B, for example. Another good way is contest. And a real good example from that is from Matthew. I think I showed a quick video from Matthew earlier, actually, where he got over 100,000 leads in the first 30 days. And what he done is he created a sweepstake. He said like, hey, all right, cool. He had what was it? Some kind of a Shopify or like e-commerce business at least. So he purchased those products on Amazon somewhere. He got those products that he was going to give away as a prize. So he had, I think there was like 3 prizes, he bought them on Amazon. He created a page using a viral. Hey, enter here, enter your email address to win. And then once people enter their email address, it would say something like, hey, share to increase your chances of winning, right? And that just completely exploded. Like it completely exploded, over 100 leads. I'm not saying that over 100,000 leads in the first month is typical, but that definitely shows what's possible. And also you can do viral product launches, for example, right? So this one, actually I'm curious in the chat, like let me know who here has seen my launch from Connect Leads. This is a couple of years ago, the launch of Connect Leads. Some of you may have seen it. What some of you may not know is that one of the reasons why the launch was so big, it's been my biggest launch so far, is because of this viral effect in the pre-launch. And I want to explain that for you, if you're launching. This is a little bit of a sneak peek, content extra here for all of you. So if you're doing a launch, and what I mean with that is you're promoting a new product, you're putting out a new product or a new offer, a common strategy is what's called the PLF sequence. And what that's called is like a pre-launch where you release 3 videos before the actual launch, which is all about creating hype and creating momentum, right? We did the same for Connect Leads, right? And during those time when I did those launches, for a big part, these launches, I did them along with affiliates. And that means that other businesses, they were promoting my products to their customer list, right? They would get a commission for that. That's sort of how the model worked. Now here's the cool part, what I did. During the pre-launch, I released 3 videos, but actually I recorded 4 videos, right? I released 3, but I recorded 4. One of those videos, I shared extra information of like, hey, how you use those Facebook lead ads. I gave them something, I recorded something of value. And during these 3 public videos, every single time in every one of those videos, I told people like, hey, awesome, we have this video, we're going to talk about this and this. By the way, I have this extra secret video. If you find your link down below, please keep sharing, share this link with your friends. If you get 3 of your friends to sign up, guess what? You get access to that 4th video. That message was in video number 1, that message was in video number 2, and it was in video number 3. And they did 2, the result of that was super cool. 2 magic things happened there. First of all, I got a ton of people on my list, which is awesome, right? But for that particular launch, that was actually not the most important thing, even though we're talking about building your list, but that was not the most important thing. The most important thing is that there was this wave going around in the industry where everyone was posting about my launch because of this in all kinds of Facebook groups. And all of a sudden, everyone started talking about it. It was just buzzing all over. And because of that, it was a ripple effect. More people started talking about it, and more people shared their link. Hey, what's this launch? And then more people did it. And then also because of that, there were all kinds of people reaching out to me saying, hey, my customers, they're asking me about this launch that you're doing. Could I promote it? So now I got all kinds of extra affiliates as well, because there was just one big momentum going on in the industry. And I'm actually curious, I'll check the chat to see who have seen that launch. Ryan was on all launches, cool. Martin has seen the launch as well. That's awesome. So there were quite a few people who still remember that. It was a couple years ago, but that was my biggest launch ever. And that was all because of this same principle right here. Now, while we're all here, I want to take a quick moment because I've been thinking about we've been talking about for 3 days in a row about how to improve your email marketing, how to get more customers from your email list. But the best way to start with that is obviously by having a list, by building up a list, because without a list, like, it's hard to turn a list into customers. You need to get people onto your email list, right? So the best way I know how to explain that to you and how I can teach you that, show you that, is obviously using a viral, right? A viral is our company, but it's also like I said, the best way I've seen to build a list. And I want to take a little moment and talk about it because I have something really cool that I want to share with all of you. So viral, for those who don't know yet, and I think over the last couple of days I made it clear, but it is the ultimate viral referral marketing platform, right? So everything I've talked about and everything, and for example, like what I'm doing below right here with the unique invite link, that's all done with a viral. So it will take care of everything for you. It will automatically create your unique invite link. It will automatically, like, you can add in rewards like coupons, for example, from Shopify, from Amazon. We'll automatically send your rewards out. We will automatically pick your winners if you do a contest. Like, you're in control of what's being shared on social media. You can connect it to all autoresponders. Like, doesn't matter which system it is. Well, every single time someone's opted into your campaign, you'll have them on your email list, and you can do all the automation that we've been talking about in this course as well. And you get a full dashboard with statistics, and you can even do split testing, which is really cool. So you can actually see which page is actually getting the highest conversions and which page gets people to actually start sharing. And that's super easy. All you need to do is like clone your page and make a couple changes, and then you'll see automatically which one is best. You don't have to actually guess what's working best. You'll know for sure. We'll send out the follow-up emails. Like, for example, if someone has referred one of their friends, like, hey, awesome, I saw you referred one of your friends. Just keep on sharing, and then you will get access to X, Y, or Z, to the freebie that you actually have. And you can run everything on our platform, right? So you don't need to have your own website, or you can embed it into your own site, like I'm doing below this video, right? There's a little widget that's viral embedded into a site. As long as you can copy paste some HTML code, you'll be able to add that in. And as I mentioned, we also have custom actions, which means that you can use this also to build up your YouTube following, or to build up your podcast or messenger following, or get people to join your Facebook group, for example, using our custom actions. So this can be used for like local business owners, e-commerce store owners, affiliate marketers, coach, consultant, direct sales, network marketers, social media managers, B2B, B2C. Like, it really doesn't matter. I've seen people in all kinds of industries, and maybe you've seen that in our Facebook group as well, your viral group. If you're not part of it, go to Facebook and search for viral. It's a good community where we're all sort of sharing ideas and whatnot about what's working. And right now I want to do something crazy. This is actually a funny thing. Literally this morning, right? I searched on pexels.com. That's a stock photo site where you can have free stock photos. And I searched for the word crazy, and this image is what came up, because it is kind of crazy, right? And the reason why I put that here is not because I'm crazy. Well, maybe I am, but I wanted to do something crazy, right? So as you all know, like, you're watching here and I'm talking here, and we're doing this together. We're doing this for 3 days now. And obviously my selfish reason for doing this is to create that course, right? Because we were thinking in our company, like, how can we, like, we have a lot of customers at a viral who are building their email list, but if we, like, what does it take for one of our customers to really succeed? Because it's not just building their email list, right? It is making sure that from their email list, they're growing their business, right? They're making more sales. So that's where the idea of this whole course came about. And that's why I was like, I need to create a course for that so I can serve them better next. So we can, and obviously, again, that's a selfish reason for me. I wanted to have that course so I can also, like, have an extra product that I can offer in the marketplace, right? Hey, now that you have leads coming into your system, you need to know how to turn them into sales, how to get sales from that, right? So that's my reason why I did this, why I'm creating this course. And that's sort of like one thing led to another. Now we're streaming it live, but that's the real reason, right? So we'll be packaging everything together and we can bring that to market. But you know, you're all watching here, so I wanted to at least give you an option to get this course that we just created for free. All the resources are going to be in there. It's going to be all fully edited, all the extra videos that are missing that I wasn't able to do. And I figured, you know what, the best thing I can do if I want you to succeed is to make sure you have everything you need to build your email list, and then to make sure you actually get more sales from that email list. And that's why I figured to create a package for you together, that if you get access to this package, it's the best package I've been able to put together. Like, I've never done it this much at this price. Then you're gonna get the whole email hacking masterclass, the one that we just created over the last week, you're going to get that for free as well, right? So that's my goal. If you're going to get access to this package, it's optional. But if you are, like, you're going to get the email hacking masterclass for free, or you can, like, later on we'll be selling it. But for now, I figured for those who are here live, you know, you can get that for free. You get access to everything. You can watch it on your mobile or whatever. It will all be fully edited in simple to use format. The second thing you're going to get from this package is a 1-year Viral Pro account, right? So Viral Pro, we're currently selling that at $49 a month, which means $588 for 1 year. So you're going to get a 1-year Viral Pro account, the unlimited version. So you're going to run unlimited viral giveaways, viral contests, viral product launches. So unlimited, like I said, unlimited giveaways, unlimited contests, unlimited email subscribers. There's no limit to that. A limited split test. You can run everything on our platform, and you can run, or add it into your own website as well. And there's no limit to that as well. And you'll have one dashboard to manage everything. And just to get you a little bit of an idea, I've already shared some videos from before, but for example, Din here, he collected more than 45,000 leads in 1 week using a Viral. Kenneth right here, he got over 10,000 leads in 4 days. Joe here got in 48 hours, 2 days, he got over 10,000 leads. I even get postcards from people. Maybe, I'm not sure if that person is right here right now, but even got postcards from people sending me thank you cards for putting this all together. Troy here, he got over 208,000 leads using a Viral. And Michael here got over 30,000 email lists in a brand new market. Travis here got well over 15,000 leads. Paul here got over 9,000 leads for his local event, and the list just goes on. I don't want to bore you to death with all that, but there's this, like, this works like nothing else. And you're going to get access to a 1-year Viral Pro account as well as part of this package if you sign up today. So obviously we're going to have a quick start video training as well, so you know exactly how to set it all up. But also I wanted to dive a little bit deeper, because in this course right now, which we're doing, I've talked about a lot about like the email automation part, but I would love to spend like days as well about building your list using this whole system, because there's so much I can talk about that, and I actually did. So I created a course about that. So maybe you'll have a question like, do you have examples I can model, right? So yeah, we actually have 2 in-depth case studies that you're going to get, plus a 100,000 interview, and 100,000K interview that you're going to get inside the dashboard as part of his bonus. So the case study 2, and the 100K interview. Also, now, how do I really take advantage of this? So as I mentioned, I've created a full course about this whole way of building your email list, and it exists of various modules. The first module is the Viral Foundation, right? Which is like, which will give you an introduction on like how this fits into your business plan and how you can start using this right away, right? So you're going to get that. So how do you make them to people that actually share? That's what we're going to cover in the module Psychology Hacking. So I'm going to make sure that you'll learn exactly why people share online, because once you understand why people share online, that's when we're going to take real benefit of all of this, because then we can hack it and we can make sure that we put something together that people want to share, and they're going to share your business anywhere that you want them to. So that's part of the Psychology Hacking module inside the Viral Hacking Masterclass. You may be asking, all right, so if I do this, like, what should I put on my pages, right? Like, well, all right, that's what we're going to cover in the viral campaign strategies and the campaign hacks and strategies. So these are proven campaign hacks and strategies. They have already brought a ton of traffic and profits from other users. So if you follow this step by step, that's what I would recommend as the game plan for your campaign. So you're going to get that as well. And then you may be asking, like, what email should I use? So in this course, we've been talking about the sales emails. But in this part, we're going to talk about the emails to send out to get people to share your campaign more. Because obviously, once people share once, you can get them to share multiple times. And that's the cool part, because then you get even more leads. And that's what we're going to talk about in the email follow-up recipes. You're going to get that as well. And what about traffic? Because you need some initial traffic to come in. We're going to talk about that inside Traffic Mastery, traffic hacks and strategies in that module, a part of the Viral Hacking Masterclass. And finally, how to get even more out of this, because it's always good to squeeze a little bit juice out of it, in the optimization strategies, which we're going to talk about things like split testing and doing the best thing there. So our campaign is fully optimized, all part of the Viral Hacking Masterclass. So you're going to get all of that if you sign up for this package today. And The question is like, if by getting this package, right, if you finally stop being dependent on any single traffic source, like because people are sharing your message at all kinds of platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, etc., would it be worth it? Like, I think it would, right? If you add another if you add another 10,000 new subscribers a month to your business, would it be worth it? Or even 2,000 new subscribers a month, would it be worth it? Like, I think it would be a good deal, right? So get you a ton of extra exposure through word of mouth to place you could never otherwise reach. Would it be worth it? I think it would. Now, obviously, right now you're maybe watching and you're like, I want to get this, because once again, I've never put a package like this. Let me just go back to, I'm not kidding, I've never ever put all of this in such a package together at this low price. So if you want to grab access to this, let me just show you the link on my screen right now to make sure you know where to get it, because right now you can get access to it for only $297 a year, right? And obviously you can cancel at any point, that's fine, that's up to you, but for only $297, so for less than, for roughly half of what you would normally pay for Viral Pro, you're gonna get that for half off, 50% off, and then you're gonna get all the other stuff for free, including the email hacking masterclass. Once it's all edited in a couple of weeks, you're gonna get access to that as well. So let me just share the link as right now, so that you can get access to that at emailhackinglive.com/go. That is the backdoor link. And yes, right now we're just here live, so it's just you know, a couple of people basically. How many people are live? 124. So there's not like, it's a good number of people, but like this is our inner circle who's able to get access to this. So you don't have to like, this is your way to get the email hacking masterclass for free. Cool. Let me just check the chat. Crazy value package. That's what I thought. I appreciate that. Whew. Awesome. Someone's asking, that is a good question. What if we already have a viral? That's a good question. To be honest, like I'm here live, I'm just, you know, being out in the open basically. Honestly, there's two things I know. One thing, I'm not 100% sure. Two things, I always want to do what's fair and what's right. So for those who already have a viral, obviously this part includes a viral, so I can totally understand that you're like, I'm sending out an email either tonight or tomorrow to all of viral customers with information how to deal with that. Because honestly, if you already have a viral and you already paid, like I want to make sure you're treated right because you're an existing customer. I'm not completely sure. That's the best I can do right now. I'm just I wish I had a straight answer for that. I just don't. I just know that if you don't have a viral yet, this is the best deal you're ever going to get. And if you already have a viral, I'm going to make sure to figure something out which is fair, right? Which is really, really fair to everyone. So, but obviously, you being existing customers, I always want to make sure they're taken care of. So I got your back. I hope that answers your question, at least for now. And by the way, if tomorrow you're not getting an email, like for some reason, maybe you've unsubscribed or something, feel free to reach out at support@viral.com or even my private email, info@marketing.nl. Totally fine. Cool. Cool. Scott, what kind of business do you have? I'd love to hear that. And while doing that, so as I mentioned, like if with this package you would have, you'd not be depending on a single traffic source, would it be worth $297 a year? Like I think that's a no-brainer. If you were to get even like 1,000 leads a month, like would that be worth it? Like that's a no-brainer, right? Or if you would just get a ton of exposure, like even during this campaign that I used it, I've been seeing messages all over in all kinds of Facebook groups, on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp. I haven't seen on WhatsApp, but I saw the traffic, like on Twitter, like at all these places. I would never have been able to put my message out, and it all happened for free because I used a viral, right? So that's what's going to happen if you use a viral as well. So the question is, what's one viral campaign worth to you? Like, what if you create a campaign, people start sharing, like what's that worth to you? Like, is that worth maybe 5,000 a month or 10,000 a month? Like, I cannot answer that for you, but like only you can. But like, that's the real question. Like, what is it worth for you and your business, right? So again, you can get access to it for only $297 a year today. You get the whole package of Viral Pro. You get the email hacking masterclass, and you get the viral hacking masterclass all in one package. Which means now you have two options, right? You can do nothing and take this leap of faith, right? Just go back to your day, and although we had a good run here during these 3 days, and just keep on going, and that's it. Or you can pony up this small investment today compared to all the value that you're getting and just give it a shot, right? And I want to make it really easy for you as well, because as you all know, for those who are already a customer, like I want to make sure you're all treated carefully, and I want to make sure you get results. And that's why I'm giving you a full 30-day refund guarantee. So if you sign up today, and if for some reason, if you don't like it, and I don't care if it's after 29 days, 29 days, 23 hours and 59 minutes from now, as long as it's within the 30 days, just send us an email and you'll get your money back. Like if you're not happy with it, then you can have your money back. Like there's no problem at all with that, because I know like in that time period, you're going to be amazed and you're going to be hooked, and you're going to be thankful you did. So all the risk is on me. Happy to do that because I know it works. So that means the real question is like, is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which again, even if those half of the things I've claimed today on this training will pay for itself as soon as your first campaign is live. That's the real question here. So again, you're going to get access to the email hacking masterclass for free, the whole course edited with all the extra videos in there as well, so you know exactly what to do. You're going to get a 1-year Viral Pro account, which we're currently selling at $588 a year, but you're going to get access to that completely, and that's already half off. For this price, you're going to get the quick start video training, the 2 in-depth case studies with the 100K interview, and the full viral hacking masterclass with all these modules right here, for a total value of over $3,000. And you get it for $297 a year. And just a couple of extra case studies right here. For example, the guys from Shopify app, they used Viral in their pre-launch, and they did the first campaign. They did close to $20,000 in sales using Viral, and then the next one $18,000. So that's right here. These are 2 campaigns that I run in the same month using Viral, just to show you how well it actually works. Jeremiah here, he got over 10,000 subscribers using Viral. Nandu here got over 17,000 visitors. Nikolai, he spent 200 euros on ads, which is interesting, into his Viral giveaway, right? That's the initial surge of traffic, and it got back over $16,000 in revenue in 6 weeks, which shows you what can happen, right? He got over 4,000 leads in the progress as well. So here's Annie got over 2,000 new subscribers, which is awesome. Anita here got her first Viral campaign, got 615 leads, which is awesome. Renaya here got over 500 leads, which is awesome. Faisal here got over 614 leads, which is awesome. Kenneth right here got over 10,000 leads. I already showed that one actually. Here's someone who got over, how much is it? 4,700 leads, boom. And then we got Mitch in the house there as well. He's in the call right now. Mitch is awesome. So 2 days of Christmas, and there was 12 winners for a $99 item. He got over $6,000 in sales using his Viral campaign. So it just keeps on going, and that is a Viral, and obviously the whole package around it. So again, I'm just here trying to teach as much as I can, and hoping that, like, even if this is not for you, I think it is, but like, even if it's not for you, I really, and do me this favor, take all the knowledge and actually take action, because like, I'm not sharing this all just for a reason, but I want people to actually, move forward with their business and actually get results. And the best way I know I can help you is to make sure you build your list, right? And that's what the Viral is going to do for you. And then making sure that from that point, you're going to know how to turn those people who enter your list, who opt into your list, and get them to buy your product, right? And then things start rolling, right? Because then you start getting people onto your email list, and then some people start buying, and they're like, oh, this is awesome. You get energy, you get motivated, and then it's just the best thing ever. And that's why I created this package for you. Again, I've never put this package with this much value for this price. Again, only $297 a year today. That's really the best offer I can make for you. So if that's something for you, then right now, go there right now. You'll see a checkout page, and you can just enter your details, get started right away. And again, we have a full 30-day refund guarantee, so all the risk is on us. I cannot give you an exact timeline on the actual course because we still need to create new videos and we need to edit it all, but we're working hard to make sure that's added into the system as soon as possible. So you're going to get access to the whole email hacking masterclass as soon as possible. Cool. What a ridiculous no-brainer. Thank you. Someone is smart and understands it. Good. Shut up and take my money. I like that. Yeah. if you consider that one email on your email list is worth $1 per month with a great sequence like Wilco just taught you, then the $297 is dirt freaking cheap. Yes, no brainer, says James. Yes, I appreciate it. Did it, signed up, says Emily. Appreciate it, Emily. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to see all your viral campaigns. Will you also have an offer for the affiliate deal when the course has been finished? Honestly, I'm not sure yet. We'll see that once that is done. Imagine adding 250 people to your list at $1 per email per month. That's $2,500 per year. Only 250 people added to your list just once, and yeah, like that's. And you only paid $297 today, which is good. Just bought it, says Ron. Let the fun begin. Welcome, Ron. I appreciate that. It's going to be awesome to see your work spin up. That's cool. All right, so someone's asking about GDPR. Cool, good question. Obviously, the whole platform is GDPR compliant. So inside, actually, if you go to viral.com/GDPR, you can sign the legal paperwork that you need to sign to make sure it's all good on that side. So you can just sign it online, and we'll send you a contract. And inside the viral campaign, you can make sure that like a checkbox with like, hey, do you actually verify? Like, do you confirm that people? What is it, that I can contact them, so stuff like that. It's all part of the viral. Obviously, it's all fully GDPR compliant. We wouldn't run it otherwise. I'm obviously from the Netherlands. We're in Europe, so this is super relevant. So we had the whole lawyer thing, and we made sure everything is foolproof. So all good. So it doesn't include, doesn't include copyright email swipes, especially if I'm not a copywriter, which I'm holding to get the offer. Yeah, so inside the email hacking masterclass, one of the videos, I actually went through various exact templates of like formulas of how to write, and these are going to be in PDF as well inside the course. So there's not just for the headline, but also for the actual email, what to write in email, like the first thing, like the first sentence should be this, and then there should be a section, it should explain this, and like it's all structured. I've got two clear, different kind of templates. Plus, you get a bunch of my emails as well, so you can see exactly, model by example, how I'm writing it, and you can just model and tweak that as you want. Swallow says paid, which is awesome. Oh, good question. Sherry is asking, this offer price, what happens next year? Because obviously this is super cheap, like we've reduced the price. What happens next year? Am I going up to the high price? No, once you're in, you will keep the same price, the low price next year and then the year after as well. Like unless you want to cancel, obviously you can cancel at any time. But assuming you want to keep on using, which I'm sure you will, then you're going to keep the same deal next year as well. So there's no extra charges. Like you don't go up to the public plan, you keep that special low plan. So all good for that part. Can we pay 50% to start? Someone's asking 2 per minute installment. No, that's not an option. And honestly, I don't think it's fair as well. Like if you really want to move forward, I think it's good to take a leap of faith. But if you're not ready to invest in your business that much, because it is a very tiny investment, I think. And if you're not ready to do that, I don't think it's a good fit, because I think if you're doing a 50% payment, you're just having one leg outside the door, basically, right? And like as anything in business, anything, no matter what people tell you. Some people online will tell you, hey, just click this green button and money will suddenly appear. If someone tells you that, like, it's BS, it's crap. Like everything takes time, takes work. Everything I've been teaching you guys here, it takes work. Like if I could set all this up in one day, I'd be that's just not possible. Everything does take work. Is it worth it? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Do you need to put work in? Yes, right? That's how it works, right? And if you're not, like, you need to be fully committed to do that, and otherwise it's not going to work. Like just getting access to a tool and not doing anything with it, it's not going to work. You need to also set up a campaign and make sure you make the best of it, and that's when you get the results. And that's why people like Mitch here, for example, they're getting tons of leads and using a viral, because they set up campaigns and they just do it. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction. Just get it out there. I think that's my response to that. So no, we do not have a payment plan. Can I move leads to another email system? Yes, you can. You can, first of all, you can connect it to any autoresponder so that all the leads go wherever you want, but you can also export all the leads as well. No problem at all. Also, by the way, it works in any language because obviously the dashboard is in English, but that's what you will see. But everything else, like what your audience will see, can be done in any language. You can customize everything. And the reason for that is obviously because I'm from the Netherlands. So we made it from multi-language in we took that into account. You can even do it, and that not a lot of platforms can do that. Like most languages go from left to right, right? Some languages, they go from right to left. We support that as well. So that's pretty cool for those who want to know that. Cool. Yeah, you can still join. You still get all the bonuses right now. At emailhackinglive.com/go, you still get it. Just to make sure you know what to get. Let me just go back to the right slide so you know what is part of today's package. Oh, there's a bunch of testimonials right here. Oh, I was already there. Yeah, here we go. So that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the email hacking masterclass, the whole course, all fully edited with all the resources in there. A 1-year Viral Pro account, the quick start video training, the 2 in-depth case studies, the 100,000 interview, the 100% free viral hacking masterclass as well, with all these elements in there. You're gonna get all of that as part of your package if you sign up today for only, again, $297 a year, which again is like 50% from what you would pay for a Viral Pro anyway, plus a 30-day refund guarantee. So just to be clear. Yeah, so good question. Does a viral work for a service business? Kirsten, I would love to hear what kind of service business so I can give you an even better answer, but the answer is definitely yes. I've seen plenty of people in all kinds of marketing. So you're a coach, obviously the chat is going to be delayed, so it takes a while before I'm getting a response probably. So I'll just keep on talking. Does a viral work with a service business? Yes, definitely. So what I would do, I have to think as well, because obviously every market is different. Service business, I would not go for a sweepstake. I would not say, hey, you can win, because that's just a bit too like, right? So I want to take it a bit more serious because you want to have a good impression as well. It's not just about going viral, it's also about getting customers, right? So what you want to do is you want to pick something that you can give away to your audience that is valuable to them, right? That they really want to have. It's very important. There's actually 3 key elements. Something that's valuable to them. It could be anything. Could be a video, could be an ebook, could be a physical product, could be something, right? But something that is valuable to them. Something that is kind of unique. Like it's not like for example, some people I'll give you a good example. Some coaches, for example, they write a book, right? Now, how can you make a book even more valuable, right? Well, there's 2 things. First of all, before you launch the book, you do a pre-launch, right? So now you can get, if you share it with your friends, you can win this book, and maybe then you would win, right? You would do a contest. And not just that, but you don't just get the book early, you get the signed version, right? And now it's like the author actually signed it, and that makes it more special. It's like intrinsic value, right? So it makes it even more valuable. It's unique because it's signed, and it's obviously socially accepted. That's important as well, because if you're a coach and you're, no offense, if you're a coach and you're in the adult business or whatever, like people are not going to share that on Facebook, right? Like if it's like sexy stuff, like that's not going to happen, right? So it needs to be socially accepted to talk about it. So for example, if you would do a book, you can do a pre-launch and you can go viral with that before the actual launch, and you can make sure, like what I've seen some people do is pretty cool, is they release the first chapter, and you would get the first chapter if you actually get 3 of your friends to sign up. And that's something that's really cool because it does 2 things. First of all, people start sharing, but also people who opt in and share for that, they're willing to go through all that trouble to get the free chapter. You know they're interested in that book. So guess what you do next? We actually send out the tag to your autoresponder as well, so you know exactly who shared it. Then of course it would be perfect if you give them an early deal, or maybe even a special discount, or at least like you promote the book to them because they're super interested in that book, right? Now obviously this assumes that you have a book. So what if you don't have a book? I'm just thinking as well as we go along. So as I mentioned, like a lot of coaches, they, like I did before with the video sequence, right? Maybe you have a product that you sell online, have a value-based video sequence, like some videos that you're creating, and every single video say like, hey, awesome, we're sharing all this kind of video in your industry, and by the way, I have this awesome thing, which could be something of value, like an ebook or an extra video or something. Share this with 3 of your colleagues or 3 other people who are in this industry, and you'll get it for free, no worries, right? is that something that suddenly like blows up and you get 100,000 leads? No, but that's not the point. You want to get the right people in. And that's very important as well, to make sure you give something away that people in your market want, right? Because if you're saying like, hey, share this with your friends, you get 1,000 euros or dollars, sorry, then everyone is going to share that. And you get the wrong kind of people on your list. So you want to make sure you give something away. And my real rule of thumb, and I know I'm rambling on here, but I'm just trying to help out here. If you're giving something away and you're asking for people to share for it, and basically what people are doing with that is, in a way, they're paying you with social currency, right? They're like, hey, cool, you have something I want, I'll share this with my friends, so then I get it, right? So my rule of thumb is like, you give something away that they would otherwise pay for, right? So for example, in this campaign that I'm doing below this video, right, I'm doing what I preach, people get that tool that we had with the email sequences, right? I could also sell that tool. I know I could, because I've seen other people do it as well, and people buy it, right? But instead of selling it, I'm saying, hey, you get it for free if you get 3 of your friends to sign up. So there's hardly any industry, like the only exception is, like this, I was gonna say, there's hardly any industry where this doesn't work, with the exception of things that people really don't want to talk about online, right? Because if that is the case, then you'll have to be really clever and go around it, but like that makes it a lot harder. So if you're selling sex toys, for example, then this may not be the best fit. Anything else, boom. That was a long answer to a short question. My apologies for that. Thanks, Anna, appreciate it. I raffled a couple of shirts actually, and actually that brings me to one more prize, because we've picked every day we picked a t-shirt winner, and we picked an Viral Pro winner for a year. Yesterday, same thing, t-shirt Viral Pro. Today, t-shirt Viral Pro. But I want to actually check who is the #1 on the leaderboard, because that person will get a full year of Viral Pro, and that's our sister company, so to speak, a full year of Connect.io, the full suite of all of our Connect.io tools for a full year as well. Because who's on top of the leaderboard, that means that person has shared most of our audience, has invited most people, obviously with the exception that I'm going to check afterwards whether that person has not tricked the system. And right now, let me just check Viral. So this is the final prize we're giving away during this live show. Well, actually, we're giving a lot of prizes, because I think this is a prize in itself. To be honest, this is a freaking steal, as Mitch said it. But that aside, let me log into Viral. I'm currently logging in. And right now, it is a close match. And I know Mitch is here, but Mitch is actually second. So Emil is the winner of an Viral Pro and a full year of Connect Suite. I'm gonna pick him as a winner right now. Obviously, I'm gonna check whether it's all legit. Viral automatically checks that. I just haven't checked it yet. So Mitch is the runner-up. So if that is the case, then Mitch would be the winner. But for now, Emil, congratulations with a full year of a Viral Pro and Connect Suite as well. And everyone else, congrats, because this is like a freaking steal. Again, the full email hacking masterclass with all the resources, all the videos in your account as soon as it's ready. A full 1 year Viral Pro account, unlimited version, unlimited contests, unlimited email subscribers, unlimited giveaways, unlimited sites, all that. The quick start video training, the 2 in-depth case studies with the 100K interview, and the full viral hacking masterclass with all these modules. You're gonna get that if you sign up if you sign up right now at emailhackinglive.com/go. I almost forgot the URL. emailhackinglive.com/go. Go, go, go. Oops, I just removed the URL. There it is. Cool. Let me see, because there's a lot of chatter going on. How long will we be able to get the 297 price for a Viral? Good question. Some people are making fun of Heidi. That's funny. I like that. Heidi, my apologies if you're still watching. I'm not laughing at you. Or maybe, no, I'm not. I'm just laughing at the comments, just be fair. Anyway, so how long the offer is going to be open? We're closing it down today. No, let's be real. I'm here. Like, I don't want to be like that. Like, we are keeping this open for a couple days. I want to make sure that we're doing a promotion for that other people can get access to this as well. I want to be fair with that. So during the weekend, you can still sign up. And after that, we're closing it down. Like after that, we're removing the email hacking masterclass completely. Like this whole deal will be gone, and then later we'll maybe you'll see an offer for like the email hacking masterclass. You can buy it, but obviously if you already have this, don't buy it at that point because that would be a waste of money because then you'll have it twice, which is obviously not good. So we'll do that later, the email hacking masterclass. But if you get in now, you get it all for free, assuming you get access to the package, of course. Cool. All right, so that's an interesting, I'm just thinking right now. Someone's saying like people do not like to share problems with their hair, and I sell hair supplements. That's a good question. So how do we, because I've seen various campaigns where people, they went around and they made it funny, right? And sometimes there is something you can make it funny, well, because the main thing we need to ask ourselves in any business, in whatever you're doing, this is just a lesson as well, and sometimes it's so easy to be so focused at what we do without recognizing who we're targeting. And I want to explain that a bit more. So, for example, if I look at my business, right, I can say, hey, viral, it's all about list building, it's all about list building. But I need to look at like what makes a person a perfect potential customer for me, right? Same thing for like if you're selling hair supplements. It's not just people who are looking for hair supplements, perhaps. Like I'm not as familiar, maybe I should be, I don't know. I am not as familiar yet with that market. But I can imagine there's often things that aren't directly related to what you're selling, but they target the exact same target audience. And sometimes you can get people on your list that way. And I know I'm being vague right now. My wife always complains that I'm being vague about this kind of stuff, but like I said, I'm not familiar in that market. But what I'm saying is you can, if there's a problem people don't want to talk about, usually either with humor or like making it funny, you can get people, like you can make a viral thing, or you can make it something else. You can give away something that they don't have to admit that they have that issue, but it's still something they wanna share, right? I'm just thinking what that could be. Again, like every market is different, but I hope I'm not being too vague here, and I hope you understand. Like for example, I'll give you a completely different example. Like for example, I know that someone who's, for example, what's the Dutch the English word? Like, damn it, that's the downside of being not native in English. I can't come up. Google Translate. I'm gonna open up Google Translate. My apologies for this. You have no clue how often I use Google Translate during my normal working day. You'd be amazed. Is that a notary? Notary, like someone who makes the paperwork and like for if you're buying a house or whatever. Like if you would be a notary, like you also know, like then if someone is like in legal trouble, they would be sort of the same. Or if someone is just moved or is about to move to a different place, like that, like they're gonna need a notary service. Like what, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes even you sell a certain thing, there's certain things that are happening in someone's life in order to get that. Or for example, like maybe, I know I'm being too vague, but I wish I could dive more in depth, because this is usually with a brainstorm session, we would be able to spin up good angles. But I can tell you, like there's always an angle where people are happy to talk about it, and it doesn't have to be about the exact issue, but it has to go into the same audience, right? And then once they're on your email list, that's when you build a relationship, as I've been talking about, and then you can get them to become a customer. You can make them aware of the problem they're having, and obviously, if you get a wide range of people onto your email list, ta-da, we can do segmentation, as I mentioned as well on the call. We send value to the list. Part of the value is about the hair, or like hair problems. They click on it, they're interested in that, they have that issue, boom, promotion. I hope I'm making sense right here. What time is it? Oh wow, we've been going live for 3 hours now? That's intense. And you are still sticking with me. You are awesome. I really do appreciate that. Cool. All right, Helen, I really do appreciate that, that you're here with me. Appreciate that. Cool. I'm still live, yes. Am I not live? I should be still live. All right, so I want to be respectful of your time, and I want to wrap this up. Of course, if there's any questions, feel free to hit me up. But again, like, you can get access to this awesome pack. Like everyone who's been following me over the last couple of years, you know, I've never put an offer like this for this price ever. Like, I've never, this is epic. So don't take this for granted. I'm not going to keep on doing this. Prices will go up, and obviously the email hacking course will be, email hacking masterclass will be a separate product that we're going to sell separately. So if you want to get that for free all in one, now is the time. Again, you can go to, the URL is gone. Let me just add that again. You can get access at emailhackinglive.com/go. And there you can sign up right now, enter your name and email address, enter your credit card details, and you're a part of the family. And once you've done that, make sure to go to Facebook and search the Viral group. So it's good to hang out with each other as well in our Facebook group. So with that having said, I'll see you all on the inside. I'm just, like, I know there's probably still chatter going on, but I just want to thank you all for being here. It's been a fantastic couple of days. It's been a new experience for me as well. I've created like, sometimes I just, like, this is just between you and me, but it's so easy to drag things on. There's things on my to-do list, and I know I need to get them done, but I just, I didn't get to it next time. I didn't get to it next day, right? And now, because I've invited all of you, I'm doing this live, I'm recording this course. I've created the bulk of this course in 3 days. I've never done that, and that's all thanks to you. Because of your attention, I had to keep on going as well, which actually makes it a lot more fun as well. I mean, it's one thing to just, you know, record a video here in my studio and then later on see people's responses, but now people are thanking me and we're having a fun together. There's like chat going on. It's all of a sudden, even though I'm here in my little studio right here, right? Even though I'm here in my little studio, let me just whoop. It's still just, you know, it's a lot more fun. Oh, that's the wrong one. Where's the webcam? There's the webcam. Boom. It's just a lot more fun. So right here, it sort of feels like you're standing over there right now to me, and I'm talking to you, and I'm chatting to all of you, and it's just amazing. So I want to thank you all for spending so much time with me right here on the call. I really do appreciate it, and I'm hoping that we can help you as a business further to help you grow your list, and then make sure you get customers from your list. You turn them into sales, and that's what this package is going to help you do. For only $297 a year today. So with that having said, I want to thank you all once again. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all soon. Thanks, everybody. Have an awesome day. Let me just do my funny dance to make sure that you can fully make fun of me, which is all good. So just checking the chat. You can just message me on our Facebook page, where the one where we send out messages. Like, I'll have to, like, the last thing I want to be honest with all of you, like, I still answer quite a few messages, but I have my team to help out answering questions as well, because sometimes I just can't keep up. So feel free to ask questions. If it's something my team is confident they'll answer. We have like frequent calls as well, where they ask like, hey, someone asked me this question, how should I respond? And I actually explain to them, and sometimes they will write back, and sometimes I will reply myself. So feel free to send me messages, right? I don't want to be impersonal, but don't be offended if sometimes I reply personally, and sometimes one of my team, like we have a team of over 20 people right now working at Viral to make sure that, you know, we're delivering awesome the experience. So I hope you all understand that, and that's why I'm doing this here, so we can actually be live with one each other. Anyway, with that having said, I'll see you all next time, and hopefully on the inside. And if you're not joining, then at least go to Facebook and join the Viral Facebook group, so we can just, you know, hang out there. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, great evening, great morning, wherever you're at in your business.